Okay, check 1, 2. This should be number 7. Check 1, 2. Mic check. Testing 1, 2. Numero 7. Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 27, 99, 96. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Okay. Oh, yeah, it is for sure.
Way better.
Testing 1,
Sorry.
2. Mic check 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. Number 8. Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry. Check 1, 2. This is number 9. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Do you want me to turn? Huh? I don't know. How are you going to hang? At the same time. So this is 10. I don't know if you want me to turn this one off and retest 9, but I did. Yes, this is number 10. I turned number 9 off. So, what's that? Check number 10. I am right now checking number 10. Checking number 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay. Do you want to retest 9? Okay. Now this is number 9. Number 10 is off. Good? Okay.
She's
I really
smart.
want cheese pizza.
Sometimes her mind
They have this
wanders.
video game. I score. We should have a sleepover. Maybe I should pack my pajamas.
Saying, Laura? Laura!
I think I heard Mom say something.
When we finally got there,
She gave me a hug goodbye.
I really hope she doesn't
I
have
really
another
hope I
bad
don't
day
have
at
another
school
bad day at
today.
school today.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can... That's why there's Understood.org, a free online resource for the parents of the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues. Here you'll get personal...
Where do you want us there? Dave, Marcus, somebody?
Anywhere over here.
Is there any four of us here? There's three. So let Manny sit in and Thompson.
I'm not sure who's coming.
No, we're gonna sweat walking around the building.
Probably, yeah. There's some on the side. Yeah. Yes. Check 1 2. Mic check. Number 5. Number 6. Mic check 1 2.
They're here.
Well, they're here already?
Yeah, they are. And get the powder. Get the powder? Yeah, I think they are. What's that? But, yeah, you may just need to review the whole weekend.
I switched 7 and 8.
Backwards and lose 2 and 1. Tell them we're sorry, and then we'll be still right. Perfect. Yes. On my little cart, just around the corner right there. There should be a Sharpie there too. Oh. This has some blue, but this one says
What's up? Did we have name changes then? Mike's doing that. Because Andy stayed in the studio because Mac's running behind. So Andy's going to join us on the second session. He's going to have to produce in the studio. We got a couple of these. I've already screwed up. I wrote his name wrong.
If you
Coach, your head coach of everything. So,
before you leave today, if you will just fill out the projected
what
order
do you
to
want
finish
me?
and then
Since I'll be kind of
file
here,
this
sitting
under
out right, do me on the end, or do you want me
It's your call.
You tell me.
You want me to put the order of.
and I will not reveal your individual.
I'm just trying to
I'm going to collect
set the mic so it's easy for us to follow.
so you don't have to worry about that unless your players look over your shoulders.
Want me to say this
By
now?
the way, Andy Griffin.
Skyler Muller.
Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you, man. Appreciate
Congratulations on the job.
You bet. Who you got helping you, Scott? We got quite a few. Really solid guys. So, you retain who you the staff. Yeah.
That way they're so nice and new.
Brand new, a couple young guys that are out. New coach. It's good.
Carter Miller went to Perry and took his boy with him, huh?
He did, yeah. Oh, he was a good player too. Yeah,
He was.
He's a good kid. He kicked.
I'll bet Rob Potter pretty mad at him, right?
Well, I mean, it does hurt a little bit, but we're just trying to keep the next man up, you know?
Yeah, next man
Whatever
up.
opportunity comes for whoever's next in line. So.
I guess you and Carter are not related, huh?
We are not. We're friends, but we're not related.
Have you been at school for a while or no?
Pardon?
Have you been at Candyview for a while?
No,
For sure.
I actually, I taught there. That was my first teaching job. I started out at Cedar High coaching for 8 years.
You want them on there now?
Left with Huracan 2. And this is kind of fell in.
You bounced around the region, huh?
Yeah, and so we
Coach under Peacock?
I did. I played under him, coached under him. He's
Oh, okay.
highly one of my heroes.
I know Todd.
Him and Chris Homer are like my
You know what I'm going to do until Andy gets here? I'll go here.
Let me just fill this out.
Yeah, just any time before you leave, so I can have it. And at the end of the show, I'm gonna add them all up and do like a coach's meeting and everything and everything. Thanks, Coach.
To Region 9 Football Media Day, live.
Okay, we'll be right here. When
You guys can come over
we're
here.
ready to go. So.
Are you done checking mics, Lauren?
We have been.
Can they go ahead and sit down there, or you want to check them again?
Yeah, Skyler, why don't you sit at?
Which Wi-Fi am I using,
Coach, if
James?
you want to sit at the end here, closest to us, and then your boys can sit right there.
Key code? CECA 1995.
Remember when he called Trent Staples?
So no headsets. Yeah. We're just doing mics.
You what?
Hello.
95.
You want me to switch with Wyatt Jaden so short?
Yeah, we probably should.
Yes. You have to get that low.
Hey, Brady, you guys were born after 2000, right? Or on,
99.
2000. I just barely turned 17.
Little baby.
Yeah, no, I just turned 17 last week.
Hey, nothing to be ashamed of, right?
Nope.
You're just young.
Yeah,
That means energy.
sometimes.
They're trying to fix your placards.
What?
Your little nameplates, they're trying to fix them.
I have
No,
no
I
clue.
screwed up. I've been messing up his name all year long, Haley, so I'm not a very good speller. We could leave that out of the whole thing.
It's usually Devin that spells it wrong.
It's,
I could have. I don't know.
Tyler, I feel like this one was meant for you.
Yeah, you guys want to
Look-
switch? I probably can't actually.
Once it's gonna be announced.
Here, just put it down. Oh, you're gonna just trade? Don't move them. They might be there for a reason. I guess you could move them, but.
Yeah, thanks.
You guys need a mic?
They already checked them all, I believe. You want me on 8 or 7? Well, when Andy gets here, I'll probably slide here, but I didn't want to. I'll just go like that until he gets here.
So we were walking to school. At the corner, we waited for the traffic light.
I started thinking about
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah,
and cheese.
She's
I really want
smart,
cheese pizza,
but
like at Luigi's.
sometimes her mind
They have this
wanders.
video game there, and Kate's got the high score. We should have a sleepover. Maybe I should pack my pajamas.
I remember saying,
Get Coach in there.
Laura, I think I heard Mom say something.
Yeah.
Is that story worthy?
Yeah.
I brought a shirt and tie, but I didn't ever know what everybody was doing.
Yeah, we didn't really coordinate, did we?
We didn't talk about that. So Mike said he'd rather be casual, and he said he's just kind of casual. So I was like, I'll just stay casual. Coach, you want a Gatorade?
My daughter said she put the
That's why
charger
there's
in here.
understood.org, a free online resource for the
Open them up.
There it is.
You'll get personalized recommendations.
Does that look all right? A little too hot? Too
No,
hot?
you look good. You look good. Yeah, it's on me. You're all right. Yeah. I must be out of battery. It didn't even boot up.
So I'm gonna go here.
Okay.
And when Andy gets here for Cedar,
The other Andy.
Andy Griffin is here. Andy Thompson is coming, but he's bored up until my other kid gets in studio. So, or would you rather have me sit in this chair and tuck that one for now?
Yeah. Off and everything.
That's exactly what we were talking about in the car, so I'll remind him.
Hey, Darren.
You want to slide it in?
And then I just put the clock up on there. Is that good?
Yeah.
You can work off of that.
Yeah. Are we going to be okay on the length of breaks?
5 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to be okay with that?
Yeah.
As long as you're not
Did you get that
stinky.
logo okay? Drop that logo in. Okay.
Okay, see ya.
That looks good. Boom.
Hey, Coach.
You guys do good work. That looks great. Thank you so
I have
much.
another guy, a couple of guys that write
I know,
with me
she's
on
the
St. George
artsy one,
News.
right?
That was Darren, the guy that's going to do the Canyon View preview for me for St. George News. Okay. He'll be here shortly, but I just wanted you to be aware who he was and everything.
Oh.
He's a big doofus, but he's a nice guy.
Guys, I got a job for you. Ready?
Guess I'm a big doofus too, so.
You guys want to read a big score dessert promo while we're waiting? Andy, can I borrow your phone for a second, or are you using it?
No, you can borrow it.
I'm just going to forward you this email.
Well, so they can read it?
So they can read it, and I'll record it with my phone.
Yeah, all right, no problem. What internet am I using here?
CCA.
Okay. Is there a password?
CCA 1995.
Oh, I already signed in to DSU Guest. That'd be good enough?
Should be, if it works.
Yeah, whatever. So what is it, 95? CEC
1995.
1995. All caps or no?
Man, my phone is lagging here.
I had a question for you too.
Yeah.
We should have put that on
We're getting
Twitter, too.
publications
everywhere.
up north.
That.
Oh,
You know,
Radio.
Candy's always kind of.
You can. I can send you the link. You guys want me to text you the link to watch? Oh, I get. Yeah, I sent the codes.
Yeah, we got that's spread everywhere. So
Oh, okay.
I just put it on Twitter, so.
Sure, just email it to me.
Well,
I would gladly use it, you bet. Just send it to
where
A.
is
Griffin
these
at
liners?
stgnews.com.
Okay, here they go.
That way I can just, it's really important for us as we build the brand.
Sure, I understand that.
But we tweak this from
Okay.
maybe
Audio.
Yeah.
We'll warm you guys up.
A. Griffin at stgnews.com.
All of three of you.
GRIFFIN.
Andy, can I see your phone? Did that email go through?
stgnews.com.
Dude, I got the. There it is. Voice memos. Did it come up?
Yep.
Cool.
So live. Yeah, no problem at all. You might have to remind me once or something. If I forget, go ahead and send me an email or whatever. And so you need these liners right here?
Yeah. Just to let them read them.
Yep.
Booyah.
Oh man, that's little. Hope you guys have good eyes.
Okay, so go scroll down to like player one.
student athlete one.
Yeah. You read that. You tell me when you're ready. You want to read it through it real quick?
I want to kind of read through it just real quick.
There's Mike Mcgarry.
Oh, cool.
Canyon View High School heading.
How you been, man?
I'm heading Yogurtland after the games this year.
I'll be heading.
Oh, I need you to hurry and vote
I'm
before we
heading
go on the
to.
air.
I need a 2 in there. I'm heading to
Well, you don't have to
Yogurtland
hurry
after
and
the
vote.
games
Maybe you want
this
to hear
year.
the guys first, but
For
here's the
free,
ballot
Holbrook
anyway.
asphalt, big score dessert. When we score 25 points or more, I'll see you there. Just have that.
You guys go first, because I don't want to screw it up. Ty, you go first. Okay, you go first. I don't want to screw it up.
Just heading to. Just read student athlete 2 or 3 or 1. One, two, just do 1. Just ready?
I'm Wyatt Barton from Canyon View High School. I'm heading Yogurtland after the games this year for free Holbrook.
It's too small. You can't read it. Here, let's make it bigger. You're squinting, I can tell.
You could zoom in a little.
What if we turn it sideways here? There we go.
Yeah, that'll help too.
You want me to hold it for you, Wyatt?
Yeah. Like, give me some energy too.
He's the young one.
Is it? I'm heading to Yogurtland.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah. I'm Wyatt Barton from Canyon View High School. I'm heading to Yogurtland after games this year for a free Holbrook asphalt big score dessert. When we score 25 points.
Andy
or
won't
more,
be here
I'll
for a
see
little
you
while,
there.
but Andy Griffin is right here.
Okay.
Andy's going to be here. I'll slide down when he gets here, but he's not going to be here for this first one. Let's see.
Andy's not here, but Andy's here.
Why? They're all similar. Wyatt, CV.
Although everybody thinks I'm Andy Thompson
Okay.
lately.
Go ahead, Ty.
Devin talks about Andy on the air, and I'm like, remember when you used to do Andy with Dixie Trophy? Everybody thought that was me too. They're like, hey man,
This is your professional
I didn't know you had
acting
a
audition.
trophy
Ready?
business. I'm like,
3,
I
2,
don't.
1, rolling.
I'm Tyler Haley from Canyon View High School. Big scores of 25 points or more mean a free Holbrook asphalt.
Hold on. Holbrook. Yeah. You're good. Start over.
Holbrook, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Holbrook asphalt pies.
That's all right.
3, 2, 1.
I'm Tyler Haley from Canyon View High School. Big scores of 25 points or more mean a free Holbrook asphalt big score dessert at Yogurtland for all football fans after the games. Thank you, Holbrook Asphalt, for supporting Region 9 football.
That was pretty good.
That was good.
Good job, dude.
A little stiff. You need to loosen up a little bit. Other than that, it was good.
We'll dress it up.
He'll put some music
You want to do
behind
it or
it.
no?
It'll sound really good.
You want? Okay, here we go.
Make sure and watch. For the big score dessert, when we score 25 or more points, then you just head to Yogurtland after the game for
Just that
free
song,
Holbrook
huh?
asphalt.
If it's green,
Your money. You're going to be good. Tell me when you're ready. 3, 2, 1.
I'm Jaden Roden from Canyon View High School. Make sure to watch for the big score dessert when we score 25 or more points. Then okay, I don't want to do it because I'm just going to mess it
All
up.
right, let's have Coach do one. Let's make Coach do one.
This is our business, you know. This is what we do for a living. And we screw up a lot too, but we get to start over.
All right, tell me when you want to read through it.
Make sure you flash the game.
Just your name, from Canyon View. Don't miss
You
out.
really want to be in the business? You guys make faces at him while he's trying to concentrate.
It's just a little dessert. Big score dessert. So if anybody scores 25, like they get to go to Yogurtland after the game and get the free. It's a 5-ounce free yogurt. But if you're playing down here and you guys score 25, you can go over there. Make the team
Yeah,
bus
mom
stop.
and dad come, they take you to
go.
Yogurtland and get some
All right, 3, 2, 1.
free food.
I'm Coach Skyler Miller from Canyon View High School. Don't miss out on Holbrook Asphalt Big Score Dessert after each football game this season when we score 25 points or more. Just Yogurtland.
Whoops. Just visit Yogurt. Just visit. I missed it. Visit.
Okay.
You just start from there, though, right? Splice it.
No, not the way I'm doing it. I typed these in such a hurry. That's my fault. 3, 2, 1.
I'm Coach Miller. Do it again.
Okay. No, you're good. All right, here we go.
Pins. We'll give him a big bag of
I'm
pins.
Coach Skyler Miller from Canyon View High School. Don't miss out on Holbrook
bought
Asphalt
a
Big
new
Score
big
Dessert
bag.
after each football game this season when we score 25 points or more. Just visit.
Practice makes perfect, baby.
I'm Coach Skyler Miller from Canyon View High School. Don't miss out on Holbrook Asphalt Big Score Dessert after each football game this season when we score 25 points or more. Just visit Yogurtland after the games and ask for your free Holbrook Asphalt Big Score Dessert.
Good enough. I can cut that little clip out. Good work. Hey, good job, guys.
Thanks. Bunch of rookies. I don't think I've met you, sir.
All right, this is Mike Mcgarry.
Mike Mcgarry.
Skyler Miller.
Coach, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too.
Yeah.
Mike is part of our broadcast team. We have 4 of us, so we have 2 on each game that we do, and then, of course, you
I
guys.
recognize your voice. I've never.
I'm kind of new. I've only been here for 35 years. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little while.
Just a little while.
So, when did you play back in the day?
I graduated in 2000 from Senior High. So.
See, I've been doing Region 9 games since like '96.
I'll go see if you can even tell.
Were you on with the Garrett? One of the Garrett brothers?
No, they were older than me.
They're older.
I was in a freshman.
Who was your QB back when you played?
My senior year, Jeff Alverson.
Alverson.
So we were
Okay.
I was a junior when we went to state championship against Big Feet.
Nice. Did you play baseball too?
I did. Our baseball team won the state championship.
Yeah.
I was the catcher for that team.
With James Platt and those guys, right? Yeah, I broadcast the championship game between you and Dixie.
That's awesome.
Up there in Ogden.
That's awesome. Oh, yes. That's amazing.
Yeah, nice. That was pretty awesome.
Special.
And then I was on with him when Alverson won the JUCO national championship too.
James Platt hit a game like that series.
Yeah, yeah.
That was a heck of a series.
And the last out of the championship, they had Alverson playing third, and they hit a rocket at him, and he said he didn't even see it. He just stuck his glove out, and the ball was in it.
Yeah, those are my buddies, for sure. Do you want me to give this to you?
If you're done, yeah.
I'm not too familiar with all the names.
Oh, that's all right.
I know, yeah, that's crazy.
You got shine off the head. How does it look?
You're looking good.
I don't know. There's a little shine.
That's
I
gonna be
can see
puffed
it.
up next to Wyatt. It has to be puffed up.
Yeah, I'll sit up straight too.
Where is everybody?
We got. We'll get going.
Okay.
Is Venus is back, right? At Pineview? Or
Yeah.
she's
Oh yeah.
Coach, we should get a pic of all of us before we leave. We should get a pic.
I just did.
Oh, one like out there. It's like a good pic.
You know what? I want to get one of you guys.
See?
This chair's got wheels on it. Makes me nervous because
I know, you
I've got a bum
can
knee, and
take off
I'm
on
kind of
you.
afraid I'm going to fall on my face. But microphone wires and crap. Devin's email. I'm going to get just a mugshot of each of you real quick. That's what they call it in the business. It's not really. You're not going to jail or anything. I promise. Okay, Coach, you can smile or not smile. That's completely up to you.
Are we smiling?
Okay. You guys looking tough or smiling?
Arms full of time.
Okay. Oh, you look good, Wyatt. Jaden?
We could make Jaden laugh.
You trying to look tough?
Like watery.
All right. And Tyler. Tyler wore a hat today. You having bad hair day or what, Tyler? That's good.
No, I need a haircut.
Dang it! I'm going. Well, I guess Coach is smiling too.
And I'll get one of all y'all together. You don't even have to move. Just sit there and look pretty. Perfect. Thanks, guys.
All right.
No, we still got 5 minutes though, right?
7.
7?
So we have a format, any advice you give us?
Yeah, basically, Devin's going to open, just kind of introduce everybody, and then he'll probably throw a question or two at you, and then he'll open it up to us to ask you some questions. And then after probably 5 minutes or so, then he'll address each of the players, and we'll throw some easy questions, some softballs for you guys to hit out of the park, all right?
Right.
Easy questions for you.
We're not going to.
Most of them are political. I hope you don't mind.
Yeah, we're going to ask about Obama
Just
and
kidding.
Trump and Hillary Clinton. No, we don't care about that stuff. Yeah, thanks.
Okay.
That's what I did.
Here you go, bud.
Got it already, huh?
Yep. Now, some kids have been asking, does this read Brock, or does this say on YouTube, man, or taking it back?
This is it's all embedded to that YouTube link, the direct link I sent you.
Okay.
But it's also linked from our side and his side to that. So
You
everybody
can
funnels
watch
to
it
what I
a
sent
million
you.
times if you want.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So it'll run live.
And then you can go back and, right, Marcus? DC. They'll be able to go back and watch it afterwards. Right out in each team.
Oh no, she's
cool.
serious.
We'll have to break it up into individuals.
Okay, but they can.
But YouTube records it so they can go back and watch it.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna get a Gatorade in the water. Is it Thompson locked in? Do I need to call him? Is everything good on our?
Yeah. Were you prepared? I told you it's kind of. I had to warn you about him. But
We're good to go, man.
yeah, he doesn't want to be on camera. At least you got a gallery over there. At least you have a gallery over there. You can sit and hang out. And... I don't know. I'm not in charge of that.
Oh, you need a mic check from me?
Mic from Mike?
All right. Well, there it is. A mic check from Mike. See how that goes. That sounds all right.
Okay.
All right.
Might want to round up Devin then. My computer's still dead too, by the way.
That's right.
Come on, baby, you can do it.
A little bit of mine.
Usually when I let it go to 0, it takes a minute before it'll boot up.
I just walk out.
I will hide my Gatorade too. Gotta hide your Gatorade, I guess. Put it on the floor or something. I usually have the wrong brand up and they're like, you gotta hide that. Sorry, I didn't know it. Did you guys open up with Mountain Dew? Is that what I saw?
Everything good on your end?
Oh, Beaver, then Mountain Dew.
Yeah, so I'm logged on to the...
Is it Cedar that has Mountain Dew? Oh, you guys had Timpanogos.
Okay, it's gonna be, you're gonna be a little bit delayed, so you'll just have to merge it. So, so after Sports Center, you should be able to cut in, just pot it up and pot Sports Center down right when you hear that stream go.
Hey, how come you didn't put the kicker as the potential
Okay, thanks,
MVP,
man.
Mike?
I'll see you in a little bit.
You didn't put Pindy's kicker as potential MVP. Come
No,
on.
I didn't.
Shorten the kickers?
How close do we have to be to this?
Yeah, how close do we have to be?
How close do we have to be? To his mic.
No, you should be able to just sit right where you're at and be fine. That we'll let you sit
Is
where
it
you sit,
Haley?
and we'll let
Is that
them
it?
tweak the
Okay.
volume. Yeah. Start doing
What
some
do we spell
karaoke.
wrong? H-A...
L-E-Y.
L-E-Y. You're excused
Okay.
from up downs tonight.
Good plan.
You got to do ladders instead.
Oh, geez.
I'll still do that. 45 seconds. All right. Wish my computer would boot up.
Broadcasting live from the Jennings Communication Building at Dixie State University. Welcome to Region 9 Football Media Day, live.
And welcome to our 2017 High School Football Media Day for Region 9. Coming at you on the simulcast from the CEC TV studios on Sports Radio, ESPN 97.7 FM, and online, stgeorgenews.com. Glad to be with you. Exciting agenda we have this afternoon. We get all the football players, all the coaches, one day, all the questions, all the previews, all the outlooks, and you're going to meet a lot of different kids from each school as well as some new coaches in the region. The itinerary looks like this. We're going to have Canyon View first. Then we'll have Cedar about 3:25. Huracan will join us about 3:50. Snow Canyon at 4:15. Dixie at 4:40. Pineview at 5:05. And then we'll finish up with Desert Hills at 5:30. And then we'll have some time at the very end of our media day coverage for some of the awards, the preseason awards as far as the media and the coaches poll, and some of the preseason player of the year awards as well. I want to introduce our panel here. Devin Dixon with you, ESPN Radio. My friend Mike Mcgarry, also ESPN Radio 890 KDXU. Andy Griffin, who works at ESPN Radio and stgeorgenews.com. And we'll be joined by Andy Thompson a little bit later on this afternoon. Our first team is in the building, so let's not waste any time. Let's get going. We'll start with Coach Skyler Muller of the Canyon View Falcons, first-year head coach. He's brought 3 of his leaders, Wyatt Barton, Jaden Roden, and Tyler Haley. We'll talk to them in just a couple of minutes. But, Coach, if we could just talk about the excitement level as a first-year head coach coming back into Region 9 and give us an overall preview and outlook for the Canyon View team this fall.
We're really excited about being back. We see Region 9 being one of the best regions in the entire state. From week to week, it could come down to a region championship or a state championship, and we feel very, very lucky to be part of that group again. We consider it a nice homecoming. A lot of respect for the teams in the program. You know, most of the coaches excited to get to know them at a little bit different level. As far as our culture goes, we're off and running. We're excited to be together. We've got some great senior leadership, and so far up to this point, we're really excited about how things have been turning out for us.
Now, talk a little bit about your past. Now, you've been a coach in Region 9. This is not your first stop at a Region 9 school.
It's not my first stop. I've grown up in Region 9, playing in Region 9 under Todd Peacock. Graduated 2000, and then shortly after that, I joined his staff. I spent 8 years on the Cedar High staff, and then got a full-time job at Canyon View for 5 years, and then left to go down to Huracan and spent some time with Huracan on their staff the last 2 years. This job came available, and we took our chances and put in for it, and it ended up coming what we wanted to do. So yeah, we're here back in Region 9. It's a very familiar place, and like I say, I've known nothing else. So.
Coach, really curious then, what does this mean for the Canyon View Falcons? What's the offense going to be like? What's the defense going to be like? I mean, you obviously have a little wing T in your background, and of course the old wishbone and stuff with Coach Peacock. What's it going to be like at Canyon View?
It's interesting. You obviously get the question quite a bit with that. I'm having some fun with it. You know, we're just going to say running the spread because that seems to be the easy answer. But we only have 1 year to kind of keep things a surprise. Not too surprising. It's fun to kind of keep things a little hidden. You know, we didn't go to camp to play some of the Region 9 teams. You know, but we're going to come out. We feel like we put together some schemes that are very conducive for our personnel. Things that we can build upon, such as our discipline and our effort, and using a team approach. So we're going to run a little bit of the spread option, and run an even front out of the defense, conducive to how we need to have personnel from year to year.
You sound just like your former Cedar coach protege, because every time I'd mention, everybody says you're going to run, he goes, good. And then you go out and throw the ball or something like that. But he loves to kind of keep it a little close to the vest, you know, and just say, hey, we'll put it on the field. You try to react to us. Are we going to see that?
It's hard to take the Cedar out of me. Coach Todd Peacock's been a hero of mine since I had the opportunity to play for him, coached with him quite a long time. So there's a lot of old Todd Peacock in the philosophy, mixed in with some wing T. There's some Chris Homer, Steve Pearson. The coaching staff at Huracan accepted me at a time where I was just trying to grow and get experience, and you know, there's a little bit of them as well. So I've been very blessed to be to coach where I've coached, and we're trying to put it all together and make it Canyon View.
Skyler Muller, head coach, here with us, Canyon View High School. Coach, before we open up and talk with the kids for just a minute, why don't you tell us a little bit about each kid and why you select them to represent the Falcons here at Media Day?
These kids, one common denominator with these kids is the skills position that they play. We're no one's bigger than the team philosophy. A lot of times you'll get the quarterbacks in, you'll get the running backs in, you'll get the skill positions in, and we place a high premium and emphasis on our bigs. We train our kids separately in position groups in the summertime. We separate them into combos and skills, and we have a group specifically for our bigs. And the common denominator here is all these guys are on the offensive defensive side, or defensive line, with the exception of Haley down at the end, who I apologize, Tyler. I misspelled his name, so I will take that forever. But these kids offensively bring a strong leadership, understanding that we are only going to go as far as our bigs up front. So Wyatt Barton, a tremendous leader, strong kid in the weight room. It was a no-brainer to bring him. He had some experiences in the past, just a great kid to be around, a lot of fun, a lot of enthusiasm, loves Candy View football, been doing it a long time. These kids have been playing together quite a bit. Jaden Roden in the middle, he's our personality. He's our guy with the big smile. And so we were hoping to have him here to be the major spokesman and see what he can come up with. But super good to be around. He's more of our rah-rah guy, keeps the things energetic, loves to compete. Then we have Tyler Haley at the end, who's our big, solid Bubba type. We don't when we want things taken care of, we let Tyler take care of things. But these kids together come up with great camaraderie and just have a great friendship, and carries over to the leadership and where we want to take our team.
Coach, have you noticed taking over a trend is turnout up? Is 9th through 12th graders seeing more kids come out this year? Or is that something you think you can grow in the next couple of seasons?
Well, numbers are important. We look at our numbers based off of the type of kid that we want. We want to be around great kids, and that's what we preach from day one. And numbers are important. We want to have numbers. But we feel like the kids that came out at this point are the right type of kid, who are humble and hungry and want to be coached, and they're not afraid of what we're up against, and they love football, and we're trying to get them to love each other and to love the opportunities that they have at hand. We have a this day, this rep, this play philosophy. And with that being said, we really are happy with the group that we have. And so the numbers are perfect for what we need for the type of kid that we want to have around us at Candy View.
I wanted to ask Coach a little bit. We talked before we went on the air about the branding, about you trying to make the Canyon View Falcon, the new logo and everything, be who you guys are. Can you talk a little bit about that and what that means?
There's a lot of symbolism in our look with intention. It's been my past and my experience that going away from Canyon View for a little bit and previously not being a part of when I was a Cedar, it seemed like there was a lot of changes. There's been a color scheme issue between the teal and the Carolina blue, and some teams going to doing a little bit of both. And where we coming in, we just want to be able to I'm a pretty black and white person. There's not a lot of gray area with me, and some people like that, some people don't. But it is what it is, and we just want to come in, and this is our brand, this is who we are. We represent, being above the line, making good decisions. This is who we're going to be no matter what, no excuses. You love us or you don't. And,
does that mean the Falcons are going to be black unis at home and white and then black on the road?
That's the plan at this point. We're just
little teal trim in there somewhere.
Perhaps in the future once we get the budget.
In the future, okay.
But we just, we wanted to come in with something that's fresh and never been done before. We changed the color of our helmet. We've added some new traditions. We're establishing things as in the middle of fall camp, and we're just trying to, let these kids be proud of who they are in the football program.
Coach, just curious, sounds like you got a good senior class and you got some guys that have been around, but are there some young guys, some underclassmen that maybe aren't on the radar of Region 9 media like us that we haven't heard of that you think can really help you this season? If so, who are those players?
Absolutely. We really love our junior class. Has got some kids, especially in the bigs, and we're going to stick with the bigs because that's where we're going to focus on. That's where our heart is. That's where our effort's going to be. It's where our leadership is. And we were just talking on the way down of some ideas to try to help enhance our leadership. And our juniors are right falling in line. And we're trying to say there's no reason to wait as a senior. Let's get on board right now. We've had really good off-season and preseason participation in the weight room in terms of our commitment and our numbers. The attendance has been really solid. Sophomores, based on our statistics, need some improvement. And we challenged them right at the beginning of fall camp. And we have seen every day since we've challenged them a rise to the challenge. And so we feel like we're heading in the right direction. Our freshmen are going to be practicing with us. We're going to take a holistic approach to practice through our program. We're trying to get a relationship established with our youth leagues. We've already had a fun, successful camp in the summertime. Trying to do some things this week to try to enhance that opportunity to build kids and
and bring them along and get them excited to be a Canyon View football player.
Talking with Coach Skyler Muller, Canyon View High School. Just getting underway here, our 2017 Media Day coverage. We're going to be here till about 6 o'clock. Thanks for locking us in. Let's meet the players representing Canyon View, and then we'll circle back to some final questions with Coach Muller in just a second. But we've got Wyatt, Jaden, and Tyler. Wyatt, let's start with you. Take me through this offseason and getting ready to be a leader and get ready for this upcoming season. How excited are you, my friend?
I'm really excited. It's been quite a journey, kind of a tough transition at first, but it's been like steady improvement, just uphill climb constant, There's some down days, but overall it's been super great. Just everybody's always up there ready to go, The weight room's been awesome, and we're just super excited to have a new coach, knows what he's doing and loves the game, so.
Jaden, curious, some team goals that you guys have vocalized as some of the leaders of this team, and maybe a couple individual goals that you'd like to accomplish this season as well.
I don't know, just keeping our head up and coming into this new season, just being ready for whatever comes our way, and just always pushing through everything, and just be ready for the season.
Tyler, your thoughts on coming back into Region 9?
Obviously we're the underdogs coming in here, but I like it. Like, we got nowhere else to go but up. We're not scared of Region 9 like everyone thinks we should be, and we're just going to keep on fighting our way up and keep that grind continually going and work hard every day.
Yeah, I'd kind of like to ask the same question to the other two guys. You've been in, I guess, the South. Is it the 3A South or the rest of the sports? It was Region 12. Now you're back in Region 9. Do you guys remember when you were in Region 9 before, and how important is it now for you to do well?
It's just like going back to 8th grade, that's the last time that our class has played any of these teams, and we're super excited to come back, just like see the growth and the change in everybody. So, and it should be a fun ride, just everybody will give it their 100% every game, and hopefully it'll turn out good. So.
Cool. What about you, Jaden?
Well, my thoughts on it is it's still the same game. We're still playing the same sport. We're gonna come and we're gonna pound the guy across the line from us. So,
nice.
Region 12, Region 9, it's still the same sport, and we're still gonna get after it.
How big is the Canyon View Cedar rivalry, Tyler, in your opinion, up there in Cedar City?
I'd say it's pretty big. Obviously we don't hate each other, but it's a lot of fun to compete with those guys from Cedar, just because we know them, we're friends, a lot of us off the field, but then on the field we battle hard every single year, and so I'm really excited for that game.
One thing you guys did do last year, you played 3 Region 9 teams. Didn't win any of them, but I think all 3 were pretty close, weren't they, Coach? So do you feel like that helped prepare you for this year?
Absolutely. Coach Robinson did a great job the last couple of years. He came in with a great philosophy and a lot of enthusiasm, and brought some great experience from his days and other programs he's been able to help improve. And I think going forward, it's just a matter of, like Jaden said, just putting our hand in the dirt, focusing on one play at a time, doing what we can do and control what we can control, and let's see what happens.
Let me circle back up, Wyatt. I want to start with you, and obviously some new things this year, the colors. I don't know if that is much to you guys or not, but do you look for things new that'll kind of help you get together, or is it we're the same bunch of guys, we're going forward no matter what color, no matter what team, no matter what?
We're just always going to keep moving forwards, The senior class, most of us have played together since 4th, 5th grade, and so it's just kind of always been uphill, and it doesn't really matter what color we are. I love the new black and white look. I think it's going to be awesome, and it's either you like us, you don't, but either way, we're still going to come at you and give it our best. So.
Same question, Jaden.
I just got to echo what Wyatt's saying. The color of the new jerseys, it's great. But we just got to embrace the change. Coach Muller, he's only showed us love. So we're just gonna get after it and give it our best for our coach and the rest of the coaching staff, and for our brothers. We just got to play our heart out for each other. So that's all we can do.
One big question I have to ask is, who will we be playing for at quarterback? Because I know Stockton Rigby's I've heard he's a little banged up, but he's been trying to toughen it out. How's he doing, and how's the rest of that quarterback camp battle going right now, Coach?
Stockton's been tremendous in terms of his circumstance. He, like all of us, we've been stuck with some adversity. He's had some down moments, but the important part, especially again with these guys, is being as close as they are. All we have to do is just announce, hey, here's one of our guys. We need some help, and they've been able to respond really well. In terms of his progress, it's just a little bit slower than we all anticipated, and we can't do much about the growth of the bone. But he's a fighter. He's a warrior. He's gonna get after it every day and do whatever he can. And he's gonna do a lot for us in the leadership category until he can get himself back into shape. There's a competition between some juniors right now, and in all the phases or all the positions in our team. We're not quite at the point of saying, hey, you're the guy yet, because we believe in earn not given philosophy, and we've got a process with this thing. So all I can tell you is that there's a lot of competition. Kids are trying to buy into what we're doing, believe in the culture, and doing really good, and focus on doing a good job every day.
I want to do a quick shout out to Carter Miller, no relation, for getting the head job at Parowan. But one thing that happened there, Carter's son was one of your top players last year, Porter. He's gone. You and I talked a little bit before, but it's kind of at this point you just got to fill in the holes, next man up kind of thing, huh, Coach?
Absolutely, it was a big loss, especially with these guys. They're friends first and their brothers first, and it was a blow. It was a blow for the team. Porter's a great kid, obviously a great talent. Coach Carter Miller, friend of mine, been a friend a long time, coached together before. He's had a tremendous impact on a lot of people and will only do really great things in Parowan. But again, as we said, no one is bigger than the program. Not one person, not one coach, not one player. And we're trying to create a culture of next man up. Let's get an opportunity and earn your spot.
Coach, looking at the region road schedule, at Desert Hills, at Dixie, at Pineview. So 3 arguably the biggest matchups you guys have to face on the road. I know it's not a long drive, but there's going to be a lot of fanfare at those games.
They're tremendous programs, nothing but respect. Coach Frankie, Coach Stokes, and Coach Hosner. I'm looking forward to get to know those guys a little bit on this level, like I mentioned, but I'm really excited for our kids to participate in that environment. There's nothing like high school football, and Region 9's creates such an atmosphere down here in St. George unlike anywhere else. And so, yeah, they're great teams, great programs that, as we said, we're going to worry about what we do and scheme as hard as we can and work practice each day, and we'll come out and see what happens. But nothing but respect for those guys, and looking forward to these guys getting a piece of that experience for sure.
Got just about 3 minutes left with Coach Miller and Cannon View. Mike, go ahead.
I was wondering if Darren had a...
I was going to say, you got to replace your punter now, too, I guess, with Porter gone. Wasn't he your top punter as well?
He was. He did really well for us. We're going to announce that tonight. So all of those that are watching,
stay tuned.
All those
that, media, right?
That's right. All those that want to be kickers, let's get with Coach Roman tonight and let's start getting after it. So.
Well, hopefully you won't need a punter this year, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. We're going for it every down, Coach Peacock style.
Todd Peacock, yeah, the old riverboat gambler himself.
That's right. No fear.
Jaden, real quickly, before we run out of time, tell me real quickly what a Coach Miller practice is like. What's the last couple of days of practice been like for you guys?
Coach is it's just been normal practice, just getting after it. There's a little bit of new involved. One of my favorite things about practice is he's got a new thing called Get Juiced. It's just a little bit of competition before the practice to get our blood flowing and the adrenaline going. But we're loving every second of it. I'm loving it. I guess these guys would agree with me. We're just loving it. We're ready for the season to start and get after it with our first game with Beaver. So,
Cannon View Falcons will play Beaver at home August 18th, and then at Virgin Valley on August 25th, and then another non-region game September 1st against Timpanogos, and then September 8th opening up crosstown rival the Cedar Redmond, and then the rest of the Region 9 schedule to follow. Coach, guys, best of luck this season. Have a great season. Be safe, and we'll see you at a game real soon, and thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
That's the Canyon View Falcons wrapping up their time with us here at the 2017 Region 9 Football Media Day. We're not done. We're just getting started. We'll take a time out. About a 5-minute break. When we come back, we'll keep going. Next up, Cedar Redmond in the building.
So we were walking to school. At the corner, we waited for the traffic light.
I started thinking about lunch. Mom packed me turkey and cheese.
She's
I really
smart,
want cheese pizza,
but
like at Luigi's.
sometimes her mind wanders.
They have this video game there, and Kate's got the high score. We should have a sleepover. Maybe I should pack my pajamas.
I remember saying, Laura? Laura.
I think I heard Mom say something.
The sign says don't walk.
Sometimes it's so overwhelming.
When we finally got there,
she gave me a hug goodbye.
I really hope she doesn't have
I really
another
hope I
bad
don't
day
have
at
another
school
bad day at
today.
school today.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. That's why there's Understood.org, a free online resource for the parents of the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues. Here you'll get personalized recommendations, practical tips, daily access to experts, and more. Go from misunderstanding to Understood.org.
Your son wants to get a cat, but you're allergic. Do you A, prepare yourself, B, make the best of it,
C squared equals
25.
Good job.
or C, find a loophole? When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
So, I just moved in with his family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
We'd do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
You don't have to be so strong.
Strength is not optional. This is my mother, my purpose. Real muscle is lifting her spirits between bedpans and bad news from doctors that doubt her strength. Strength is buried in bills, managing meds, and swallowing those moments of, Mom, it's me, your daughter. Remember? My strength is super, but I'm still human, right?
Find support for your strength. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community.
Daisy is 6 years old, and she is my very best friend. I couldn't live alone without her. I spend a lot of time in my backyard. I feed the birds and the bees. I love my flowers. The color in my garden keeps the pink in my cheeks. I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell and I had to have Meals on Wheels. I love them. They're my savior. And I look forward to volunteers because they've all become my friends. My name is Lola Silvestri. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Welcome back. 2017 High School Football Media Day. Here with the Region 9 kids, and our second team is in the building. The Cedar Redmond joining us here in the CEC TV studios. Devin Dixon, Mike Mcgarry, Andy Griffin. No matter how you're accessing us, thank you so much. And let's turn the time over to Coach Bennett And Coach, if you can, just bring us up to speed. Talk about any camps you did in the off season, how your turnout is this year, and give us an overall preview for the Redmen this upcoming football season.
We're delighted to be here. Got some great players here with us. It's been a great off season. We started our lifting back in spring. We carried through the summer. I think overall it's been our best turnout. I know I say that every year, but I am being honest with that. I mean, it's been our best turnout overall. We've had about 100, freshmen up through senior, about 118 kids in the weight room lifting, and so we're trying to get kids to buy into that. And we feel like the buy-in for our off-season program, especially in the weight room, has been much better, and it needs to be. I mean, to be able to compete, in this tougher region, it has to be that way. And so we've had a great turnout there. We went to some camps this summer. We had our own camp. And then the camp after that, we went to SUU and competed against some teams. I think Dixie and Desert Hills were up there. So it looked very good there. I mean, there were some days we were up, some days we were down, but we were able to see things that we need to work on and stuff like that. So,
Coach, talk a little bit about last year, the first year running the spread, a lot of changes. How was that received? And you excited about year two with that different offense?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've got some, going into last year, we were I think the kids were just trying to pick up on it and learn it a little bit better. I think going into this year, with another year underneath us, another year under our belt, these kids have picked up on it a lot easier. So now we're able to adapt to it. We're able to adjust some of the things we're doing and make things a little bit more complex. And so we are, I think the kids are very confident in what we're doing. We have added a few new plays. We've taken a few plays out to adjust our personnel. I do feel like we've got a very good running game. We got 3 offensive linemen back, 2 other linemen that have stepped in. But I've been at Cedar for about 12 years, and this is, I think, the biggest line that I've seen at Cedar since we've been there. And so it definitely helps with some of the things that we're doing. So.
Now, is it Trent, one of your running backs?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's a big kid for a running back, so your line must be really big.
Yeah, we got a big offensive line, and then our running backs, we got Trent Maurer, who's a returning starter last year. He was our leading rusher last year in the backfield. We've got another kid named Drake Fakahua, who was on his way to playing lineman, but he lost 30 pounds, and so now he's down around about, I think, 190, 200 pounds. He's playing there. Marcus Johnson's also another running back who weighs about 240. So we've got a big backfield, and so we're really focused on being a more run-heavy team this year, and play action off that. So
I'm really fascinated with the whole weight room thing, because every time a program is trying to build, it seems like that's where it's got to start. How big effect has that had on Cedar football?
Oh, it's made a big difference. 3 years ago when I first started this job, we had maybe 10, 15 kids, and then it's just gradually got better. Our administration has done a phenomenal job of adding on to the weight room so we can fit that number of kids in there, and then kids know the expectations. They say, if you want to play, if you want to, be successful, you want to, reach your potential, you've got to be in there. And the kids have bought into that, and I think it's shown. You look at last year, I think with schools that right now are 300, 400, 500, 600, 700 students bigger than us, we can step on the field and compete with that, because I think that goes back to, our off-season lifting and stuff. And you look at last year, I tell people we're a field goal away from beating the 2 teams that played for the state championship. And so we're right there. We're trying to get over that hump, and hopefully we can do it this year. So.
That was going to be my next question. Was you had a lot of close games. I think Pineview was 18-13, 37-29.
Yeah.
You guys got Huracan, but it was a close one.
Yeah.
I think Snow Canyon was 17-14 last year.
It's just some weird breaks last year. We go into Desert Hills. We go to kick a 21-yard field goal. That's to win the game, and I thought there was some questionable calls that should have been called at the end of the game, and it weren't. We had a crucial fumble in the Snow Canyon game, which would have been a touchdown. And you look at the Pineview game, we had our quarterback rolls out to the left, throws the ball, and it hits the kid right in the hands. And that's to win the game towards the end. So we're hoping we can catch some breaks on that end this year and stuff. So.
Coach, you talked about things like the weight room, and of course these are things that you and the team has some control over. You can tell the kids what you expect. They're the ones that have to step up. What about some of the things kind of outside your control? Does it matter you go to 4A instead of 3A? Does it matter you bring some of the teams back in that used to be there? Or is that something you say, we have no control, so let's just go?
I just look at it, it's the same region we're playing in, and now they've brought Canyon View back down in, and so it is it's pretty much the same. We just look at it like that. I think some outside factors that are really out of our control, and I think as coaches can work on this, but leadership is a big thing. I think this group of seniors coming in is a great group of kids. I mean, a lot of people don't know about them. I think they'll be, people will find out here in just a few weeks who they are, but it's a group of kids that has great leadership, and when you got great leadership, you definitely have a better football team. So.
Talk about your experience coming back, Coach. You do have 5 or 6 on both sides of the ball coming back, but you do lose some key seniors you graduated from last year. Guys like
we lose a few key guys. I think in high school football, it's just next man up. Next guy needs to step up in there. I think that there's always been that scenario of more guys need to step up in. I think that's more of a college type thing. I think in high school you can adjust to that a little bit easier with experience, but our kids are ready to go. I mean, I'm excited to see what we can do in 2 weeks against Provo at our place, and so we're excited.
A little revenge on the mind with the Bulldogs.
I hope so. Yeah, they've got us the last 2 years, and so we're hoping that we can go in and start the season off on a good note. So,
Coach, at this point, fall camp just getting going. Do you feel like you're further ahead by a big margin compared to last year?
I'm glad you asked that question. We just came down an 8 before we got here, and I was talking to these guys, and I asked, hey, how do you guys feel as far as our conditioning this year is? Because I feel like if we're a better conditioned team, we're going to play better, we'll make less mistakes, we have less injuries. There's a lot of factors that go into that, and I think every one of them had the same response. They said, yeah, you could even ask them yourselves, but they felt like we're in much better shape now than we were last year, and we have to be. And we have a lot of guys that play 2 ways, and so to be able to do that because of numbers, and we've got to be in better shape than our opponents. So.
I was going to say that's an interesting topic, because there are coaches in this region that say we're not going 2-way guys except for maybe 1 or 2 stars, and maybe you don't have the numbers that you can have that luxury. So how big a factor is that in Region 9 football?
It's a big factor. I mean, for us to compete, and we believe as coaches that we have to we got to have our best 11 guys on the field, and so if that best 11 guy is a guy that can play both ways, we got to have him on the field to compete. And since we've done that, if we're in good enough shape, we can do that. If we're not in good enough shape, we can't. So we really have prided ourselves in the weight room as well as our conditioning. I mean, we've pushed these guys pretty hard the last week to get in shape, and they came into camp in great shape, probably in better shape than we've been in the last couple of years. So,
talking with Coach Bennett, Cedar Redmond here. Let's meet the players, Coach. Why don't you just maybe give a couple little things you like about each of these guys you brought with you? We got Trent and Luke and Kobe and Dax and Hayden as well, and maybe why you brought them, a little bit as far as their leadership.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Trent is a returning starter, 2-way starter for us last year, played safety, played running back for us, did an outstanding job. A very physical runner. I think last year, I think he's a little bit heavier than he was, a little bit more solid this year, but he real physical runner, so when we need some yards, that we're giving the ball to him. He played outstanding on defense. He's a big safety. I mean, he weighs about 220 right now. Will come up and make some big hits. He also is very disciplined in the coverages and things we're doing. Luke Maggio is also a 2-way starter, played some slot receiver for us last year. Was also our starting corner last year, and I tell people this all the time. This is a guy you'll want to watch this year in the secondary. A very good cover guy. A lot of people went away from him last year just because of he's got great cover skills. Also going to be a return guy for us. Got great speed, and both these guys got great leadership, and that's who I wanted to bring down today, is who we felt like deserved to be here and has great leadership. Our third guy in the middle, I can't see because Luke said, Colby Lotta. He's also a 2-way starter for us, played right tackle last year as well as defensive tackle, outstanding player. Very good on the line. He gets into you, he'll move you. Dax Hershey is also a kid that got significant experience last year at tight end and defensive end. A thing I really like about Dax, he got great leadership as well. And then Hayden Giles is also a returning starter for us. He plays offensive guard and linebacker. So,
let's open it up to questions for the student athletes from Cedar High School.
Yeah, start with Trent. Trent, you were talking before we came on. You're a track guy too, and it's been frustrating probably watching Carter Reynolds win everything. It seems like from Desert Hills. But can you talk about the competitiveness of Region 9 and what it's like to play in this region?
Oh well, all the teams in this region I feel like are so competitive with each other. Like in the previous one, you talked about Kangamu's rivalry with us, and it's so it's such a great opportunity to have like rivalry with each other, and it's just like with the other St. George schools. We're all competitive. We're all friends off the field, but on the field it's go time and we get things done.
And the Candy kid said there's no hate.
There's no hate.
Competitiveness. So no
yeah,
hate.
we're all friends.
So if you saw him in the alleyway, you guys wouldn't fight or
No,
anything?
no.
They might hate him for about 2 hours in the football game.
Two and a half
Not
hours.
game night, but
Oh, there you go.
Luke, sounds like you got a huge role. Offense, defense, how do you split up your time to make sure you're on point on both sides of the ball? And you're going to be a return guy.
Yeah, so for me, it's just like when I do on offense, I got to stay focused. On defense, I got to stay focused. And return is mostly after practice, so I'll be there until like practice ends at 8. I'll stay until like 9 just to make sure I got everything ready to go.
Colby, down in the trenches, man, you got some beef in Region 9, but you look like a big, strong kid. What's it like? How physical do you think it's going to be Friday nights under the lights this coming season?
Just like we're friends, so we just want to beat up each other. But it's hard sometimes. You got big DNs, big D tackles, but just never quit. Yeah.
Dax, Coach, you went both ways, obviously, last year. Do you have a favorite? Defense, offense? Put me in, Coach. I'm ready to go.
Wherever he wants me to play is what I usually say. But defense, I really love defense. There's nothing like getting around the end, seeing a running back coming down your side, and you know you're the only thing between him and the end zone. And so you've got the team behind your back. You know, it's your job to take him out. And it's difficult, especially playing with these teams down in St. George. We got Panay Sewell playing with Desert Hills. And as a D-end against a tackle like that, you got to be smart. And but that's the fun part about it. It's the challenge. And so I'd say defense is more my favorite than tight end playing offense. But
less thinking, more reacting, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. I love it.
Hayden, you talked to Coach about some of those close losses, but as a player, you don't forget those either. How much does that push you through the offseason knowing there was a couple that got away from you?
Last year, we had a lot of close games that you just get done and you're like, we could have won, and there's just so much we could have done, little mistakes. And coming into this year, just thinking every time we go in the weight room, you got to push a little bit harder. You got to, in every little thing, just take that extra step, and we know that it's going to pay off for us in the long run.
You guys look at last year's region season. You ended up 1-4, but you had all those close losses. What do you think? Any of you guys want to answer this? What do you think is going to make the difference to turn 1-4 into 4-1? What is it going to happen?
One difference I notice from last year and this year is I feel like this year's team, we are such a close-knit bond, and I know it will push us over that little gap that we need to get with those close games. I feel like this year we'll be able to conquer those gaps.
You guys are nodding your head. You agree?
Mm-hmm. Could I throw out maybe a little bit more familiarity with what the coach and the staff wants? I mean, big change last year from what had happened a lot. Now you feel maybe a little more comfortable going into this season, saying, I'm kind of prepared now.
Yeah. Oh, sir. Oh, definitely. I would think that like last year at the start of the year we were having a really tough time like learning defenses, new defenses, but this year they're all crisp. We're running them already. We already know them. We're familiar. So this year is going to be awesome to see how we do.
Let me ask you, this for Coach or any of you guys. Did you watch last year's state championship, 3AA championship, and see how it ended and realize, okay, we almost beat Pineview. We lost Desert Hill by one stinking point, and there they are throwing the winning pass in the last second of the last play of the last game. Did you watch that? What did it feel like, and what did it do for you? Coach, why don't you start with it?
Yeah, I actually went up to the game with a few coaches, and we got great respect for those schools. I mean, great coaches, great players, great program, but we feel that we can compete with those guys. I mean, we've shown it on and off the field. But yeah, it's, we were happy for them to represent Region 9, but we felt like, hey, it sure be nice if we were in that position. So we'll use that as motivation going into this next year. So.
How about you, Luke? Did you watch it?
Yeah, it stung, but it just made me work a lot harder in the off season because I want to be in the same spot they are, just like everybody else.
Gave you some resolve.
Yeah.
You want to see is it maroon? Is that maroon? What color we call it? Cardinal. Okay, cardinal and gold up there in the U of U, right?
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else want to try that one?
I guess all of us were all watching on our phones. Don't tell our teachers that. But seeing that last play, it was like gut wrenching because it came down to that last play. And then we look back at our previous games where it came down to a last play, and that last play could have put us in their position. And I feel like because of all of us seeing that, it's going to push us further so we can be in that position this year.
Have you guys identified a strength of your team yet? Is there something, I mean, besides the unity and bond, that's awesome, seriously, but is there something about the team that you feel like is a strength, Coach, at this point?
As far as football goes, I think the strength, and I tell people, people ask me this all the time, our offense and defensive line. I think we've got some great depth on both sides of the ball there, and I think, if you have a strong O-line, strong D-line, I think you have a good football team. And I feel, this is my third year as a head coach. I think this could be the best line that we've had. I feel confident in that, and
Two in case you lose.
There is, yeah, absolutely, yeah. It's a little more on the defensive line, offensive line, maybe not as much, but I feel we got a strong group up front on both sides. So.
Very nice.
Got about 3-4 minutes.
Trick question, guys. What's the biggest game of the year?
Every game.
Every game, yeah. One step at a time.
That's true. I was expecting you guys to say Provo.
Yeah.
First game. Got to take one to get the other one. No doubt about it.
There's got to be a little red ink around the Canyon game, isn't there, though? Because that's bragging rights around town.
We're not too worried about it.
Mark that down.
You go to Applebee's in January and you lost it, then you see one of them. What's going to happen?
We don't talk about that.
Yeah.
We respect.
Yeah, we definitely give him
he
respect.
feeds you, so he probably must still like you guys.
Yeah.
Offered to feed you here.
Got about 2 minutes left here with the Cedar Redmond in our Media Day coverage. Coach, I know there was a lot of camp battles, aside from some of these guys you got coming back, but can you specifically put your finger on one or two to highlight that are going to be real interesting to see who wins starting jobs come that first game?
Our quarterback right now is, I think we've got two great kids competing for the starting spot. We got a kid named Mike Anker who will be a junior, and then our very own Luke Maggio right here who plays slot, and we'll rotate him at quarterback. In our offense, we run quarterback quite a bit. It's a big part of our offense. We feel like both those guys have great speed. Good quickness and stuff, so we feel like they fit the mold for what we're doing. So there's a battle going on right there. Obviously there's a battle. We want to battle at every position. We feel like if there's good competition at every position each day, we'll be a better football team. So
looked like the schedule worked out for you. You don't have to come down to Washington County until it starts to cool down a little bit.
Yeah, it worked out great, and so we're excited for it.
That's good, except for today, I guess, 110 or something. But.
Yeah, these guys were wanting to get indoors pretty quick. So.
Good. Anybody else on the schedule that you kind of chomping at the bit? That 1 point loss to Desert Hills, who ended up as champs. That's got to kind of stick in your mind a little, huh?
Yeah, I think the big key for us again is just staying healthy. Last year I think us. Staying healthy was a big key. We lose maybe one of the best receivers I thought in the state in Drake Lewis. When we played Desert Hills, it happened I think on the second series of the game, and he was done the rest of the year. And so for us, where we got great kids who work hard, it's just a matter of staying healthy. If we can stay healthy, I think we'll compete for sure. So.
Cedar Redmond, we had Coach Josh Bennett, Trent Maurer, Luke Maggio, Colby Lotta, Dax Hershey, and Hayden Giles. Any more questions real quick, guys, for any of the kids or Coach Bennett?
I think we're good.
Going to wrap things up for the Cedar Redmond here at our 2017 Media Day. Coach, best of luck this season. Thanks for bringing the kids down, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, more coming up when we come back. 2 teams down. If you missed Canyon View or just caught the end of the Cedar session, we'll have these all up on the YouTube channel where you can go back and watch through all of our Media Day coverage for those of you on radio. If you're in and out of your car, you can also go and watch those as well. Go to sportsradio977.com. Andy Griffin has a link up at stgeorgenews.com where you can access all these if you missed any of today's coverage. But coming up next, when we come back from a timeout, the Huracan Tigers will join us for their session. We'll be right back.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. My daughter, Brooklyn, was also a motivation for me to go back to school.
It's been so amazing to be able to give our child the life that we kind of pictured us having, even though we didn't really have that.
I've been in foster care my whole life.
He's so strong to just be able to like leave that all behind and still be able to take care of his daughter and be a good husband.
Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off.
This should not be real.
I could not have done it alone.
We've been through so much in our life, and he never used that as an excuse, but as motivation to do better.
I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Get caught buzzed driving, and you could do some hard time.
Craig, knock it off.
Sorry, Mom. It could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. And that could set you back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Everything starts out small. The things that hurt us, they all start from somewhere. The words we say, the things we do, that can grow into something else. What was small and innocent can become big and sometimes scary. All it takes is one comment, one picture, one video for something to catch fire. But a big problem doesn't need a big response. Not at first. Even if we don't know what to say, the eye emoji can be that first step we take. Let's all pledge to take that first small step together and change the world in a big way. I'm a witness, and so are you.
Retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing. After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak. And I appreciated it very much, the attention that was given. My name is Julius Gaines, creative writer, poet, photographer. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason. Because it means love and devotion for one's country. Love. But what really makes up this country of ours? What is it we love? It's the people. Almost half the country belongs to minority groups. People who are lesbian, African American, and bi, and transgender, and Native American, and proud of it. After all, what's more American than freedom to celebrate the things that make us, us? This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, disability, sexuality, race, religion, and any other labels. Because the second any of us judge people based on those labels, we're not really being patriotic, are we? Because love has no labels.
And we welcome you back to our 2017 Media Day for Region 9 football. Devin Dixon, Mike Mcgarry, Andy Griffin here on the panel. And we got the Huracan Tigers in the building. And today's show is brought to you by Holbrook Asphalt. Johnson Pediatric Dentistry, Finley Volkswagen, and thanks for accessing us on CEC TV, St. George News, or Sports Radio 97.7.com. Coach Pearson has got Colby Heaton, Jaron Cordova, Shane Farnsworth, and Adam Hayrand here representing the team. And Coach, you know the drill. You've been here with us many seasons before. Let's just start with you and your overall outlook and preview. Talk about your summer, your off season, and expectations for the Tigers football team this year.
Sure. We've had a great summer. One thing that we're probably most proud of is our turnout in the weight room. We set out to have great participation there in the weight room this year, and for the first time we started to set a benchmark of how many sessions we could achieve, and we were just short of 1,600 sessions in the weight room with the kids in our program. That's the first time we've measured that, but we're happy to use that as a baseline and see if we can improve on that. But these young men that are sitting to my left have been beyond and any of our expectations for them, and they've been great leaders there. Had a great summer mini camp. Conditionings went well. We had our first padded practice today, and just everything's been going very well. We've got great leadership with our senior class and a bunch of good young men.
This was a playoff team from a year ago. How much did last year's quick exit motivate you and the kids for this year?
For me, it gave us a chance to sit back and look at things and find ways that maybe we could improve, not just X's and O's, but as a program and where we wanted to go for the next few years. And I can't speak for these young men, but I'm pretty sure that they're eager to get going again, to get back on that horse.
I hate to even bring it up, but I had many fans, and then I watched the film myself, and it seems like you guys really got a raw deal up there in Garland, Utah last fall in the first round of the playoffs. That kind of thing happens, though, Coach. I mean, you're going to go places, and the refs are going to be in the back pocket of the home team or whatever. What do you have to do to prepare your guys for situations like that?
I think that the best thing that one can do in that situation from a coaching perspective is not to get too caught up in it, and let your young men know that you have to go and do your thing and not worry about everybody else, but do your thing the best you can, because chances are you're going to have some bad calls and they're going to set you back, or they're going to give the other team a little boost. But at the end of the day, you've got to go do your thing and do it well, and not let all those outside influences that you can't control affect how you play. And I thought at times maybe we may have not done that as best as we possibly could. We had a tough fourth quarter up there with some things that didn't go our way, and it was hard to keep focus, especially in the last 5 minutes.
You weren't the only one that had a tough day that day. I had some broadcast equipment failure that day. We were sitting right next to each other in that nice, cozy press box.
Yeah, it's cozy.
Coach, they've expanded. You're now 4A. Talk about it from the Tigers' perspective, your perspective. 16 out of 24, 25 teams, I think, will make the postseason.
Mm-hmm. Well, it certainly is a bigger classification than what we've been used to, not just in size of school, but also the number of participants. We're back to, instead of being that 3 AA of just 16 to 18 teams, we're in a classification with 20 plus schools, and so it limits your chances to get to the playoffs. It gives us an added challenge to make it into one of those top 4 spots. And we got our work cut out, because this is, I believe, the best football region that there is in the state from top to bottom. And on any given Friday night, anything can happen. And we all talk about predictions and who's going to be the region champs and so on and so forth, who's going to make the playoffs. But I go back to, you never know. The margin for error is so slim, and things can be decided with a missed field goal, or a dropped catch in the end zone, or something miraculous happening, or a snap on a punt going over somebody's head. Those have been the deciding factors in making the playoffs or region championships and whatnot. So you never know. It's going to be fun to have Canyon View come back into our region. We're looking forward to that. And for us, whether we were 3A or 4A, we're still basically the same region as we have been for a long, long time. And it is what it is, and we'll go compete the best we can.
Coach Pearson and the Tigers with this. Coach, are your numbers up? Do you have a bigger class this year? I know you lost some seniors last year.
We lost some seniors, but we have a very healthy, robust senior class. We're in the high 20s with our seniors, and many of them have either had starting roles for us through all of last year or played some really key support roles for us last year. So, our senior class is coming in, and they're fairly well seasoned. Varsity football won't be anything new to most of them.
Before we get into personnel, I wanted to ask you about your schedule. I don't see a Skyline on your schedule, which is weird because you played them a bunch of years in a row now. And then also you're you're playing a California team as well.
We are. We are disappointed that Skyline was not interested in renewing with us. We really liked that series. We thought it was a good bellwether for us to kind of measure where we were at. We had a great overtime game with them last year, and I can say that maybe for them, and I can't speak for them, but I could see very easily that it may have been a no-win situation for them. If they travel down here and beat us, then nobody's excited about that because they should have beat us. But if we play them close or beat them, then it could be panic time for the other school because they're a higher classification. We have great respect for Skyline, and we wish them well. They're a great program traditionally, and they always have been, and we're going to miss them. But we're excited to pick up Mountain View for our first game. We're traveling up there for the endowment game, and then we have the opportunity to play a team from California called Christian High School from the San Diego area, and they're good. They've played for the CFS championship in the past few years, and I expect them to be good. I really don't know much about them. I think it may be the first time that Huracan High School has played a team from California in the school's history, so we're just excited for that opportunity.
Well, the school's been around 70 or 80 years, so maybe somewhere in there was one, right?
Maybe. Could be.
We don't know.
Maybe Needles had a team or something.
There you go.
Yeah.
Talking with Coach Pearson, and we'll meet the kids. He's got representing the Tigers, Colby Heaton, Jaron Cordova, Shane Farnsworth, Adam Hayrand, and then we'll circle back to Coach for some more final Q&A at the end of the Huracan Tigers session here. Jaron, you almost had 1,000 yards last year, but you do lose some of the beef up front. I think, Shane, you were back from that offensive line, but the other guys are all gone. How's that new up-and-coming offensive line coming along?
I'm excited about it. We got a lot of underclassmen who haven't had the taste of varsity yet, and they're hungry for it, and they're ready to get out there and just hit the ground rolling. There's high enthusiasm. Right now it's a little low skill, but that comes with time. I'm sure by the end of the week that they will have started to pick up the pace, and everything will start molding back together. But it's a younger class, but a younger line, but I'm excited about it. I think they have a lot of potential to be absolutely amazing.
The one thing that's kind of been a tradition inside the Huracan football family has been the fullback, and you guys have always had a tremendous fullback. You go back through the years, and there's always been one. How much do you put that in perspective? Do you ever think about that, or are you just busy doing your job?
I like to focus on my job, but there's always, our new running back coach, Jeremy Healy, was a beast when he was at high school, and he was a beast in college, and he came back and started coaching us, and it's awesome to have his perspective on making me better. And I know that no matter where I'm at, there's always room to improve, but as long as I keep doing my thing and keep it focused on just getting the business done, I'm sure everything will unfold as it needs.
Real quickly, I want a side note. Jeremy Healy just got done with his senior season at SUU. Yes. Was that an easy decision to bring him on board?
It was really easy decision. He is our strength coach and coaching running backs and special teams, and he'll be teaching with our staff as well in the special ed department. So, yeah, he's a great catch. We're really happy to have him.
Let's go down the row. Are you the quarterback, Adam? Is that official yet, or are we still fighting for the job, or what's the deal down there at QB?
As far as I know, yeah. So
nobody's told you officially yet,
no,
then, huh?
I'm still battling.
They want you to keep fighting.
Yep.
That's good. Talk about your development there, because we've known you mostly defensive side of the ball, and then I guess a little wide receiver last year too, wasn't it? Not too much.
Okay. So I prefer defense. That's what I've always grown up loving, is playing defense. But about freshman year, I got told that they needed me at quarterback, and ever since I've just been going through learning the offense, and I've came to know the offense really well.
you feel like that you become a quarterback, or are you still a defensive back?
I feel I'm still defensive.
Uh-oh, Coach.
Shane, you got a big role in the huddle then, huh? You got the experience coming back on that O-line. You got a new quarterback. You got a good running back. How is your leadership going to be valued this year for the team?
I've just always been there and silent, and I just do my job the whole time. I work as hard as I can. It's not going to be too much different. I've been ahead of Jaron for like 5 years now. We haven't had the best talent around us. It's always been me and him grinding it out, getting yards up the middle or outside or anywhere we need them. And Adam, I have complete faith in him. He did great the last couple of years in JV, so I'm excited.
Colby, you got a lot of touches last year. Do you see your role as similar on the team as last year? Or are you going to have an expanded role, or is that just we'll have to wait and see kind of a thing?
Yeah, probably kind of wait and see, but maybe a little bit more. Played both sides of the ball last year, and I loved it, and hoping to do the same thing this year.
How familiar are you young guys with the Hurricane history, losing those 3 games to Juan Diego and then finally coming back and getting a state championship and stuff? Is that something you grew up with and know about and watched your brothers and things like that?
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I remember going up to those games and feeling that heartbreak, even though I wasn't even on the team, but just, thinking of that possibility of playing them and maybe winning the game against them.
Cool.
Coach makes sure you know about it, even if you weren't there, right?
Colby, who's a name or two that maybe an underclassman that you've noticed it's really looked good to start fall camp?
One name, probably H.K. Wolfgram. Become good buds with him. Hung out a couple times, and he's just he's going to be a sophomore this year. Should be able to step up big this next year and help us out.
Maybe we can throw that same question, Coach. Who do you see or something?
We've had a lot of fun watching HK run the ball and catch the ball, and he's a great defensive back as well. We have some competition at the quarterback spot with Brock Starley, who's also a sophomore, and throwing the ball very well and learning about our offense. Other people that, maybe not underclassmen, but people that maybe we don't hear much about. Steve Campbell will be heading up the defensive line, and he'll be a returning starter there. We also have a very unselfish role player on our team, Palmer Lee Mesa, who was willing to jump from fullback to guard in our summer camp, and will also be playing linebacker. So we're really excited about those kids.
Well, Campbell really started kind of fighting his way into the starting lineup, if I remember right, last year. He didn't start at the start of the year, I don't think, but then by the end of the year, he was playing really good for you.
Right, yeah, he was an up-and-comer, and we had some opportunities that presented themselves, and he's a big, strong kid with a good first step and gets off the ball aggressively, and I think he's going to be our anchor there.
Well, Coach, you knew it was coming. Every year we got to ask about the wing tee, how much of it you're going to run, when are you going to drop into that spread? You talked about the 2 quarterbacks a little bit. Which one, maybe you run the one for one situation and another for another. Can you address that a little bit?
Well, we are a wing tee based team. We are a team that bases our offense off the run. It doesn't mean that we can't throw the football. It doesn't mean that we won't throw the football just to be stubborn. But as if we were a flex bone triple option team, or if we were a wishbone team, run is primary for us. We, as much as we may like throwing the ball, or as exciting or trendy as it may be, the fact remains is we need to do what we do and not get split up into 2 separate types of offenses, because then we run the danger of forgetting who we are and losing our basic philosophy. So spread's great. I love watching it. But we, just like every other football team in America, we have the same goal, and that's to get the ball across the goal line as many times as we possibly can. And there's a whole lot of ways to do that. And this will be the 15th year in a row sticking with the principles that we stick with, and historically it's served us pretty well. And we've got I'm sitting next to a very good halfback, who's sitting next to a very good fullback, who's sitting next to a very good guard, who's sitting sitting next to a very good quarterback who runs our offense very well. And so we're pretty comfortable with the things that we do, and we plan to stick with that.
Coach, how much have you talked about the rule changes with your kids? Maybe Colby playing a little DB, right? The face guarding, that's a big thing. And then the crack back block, leading with your hands. What are your thoughts on some of the new changes?
My thoughts? Well, all those rules generally are there, other than maybe the face guarding, to protect the players. And I'm all in favor of protecting the players. With the caution that sometimes those rules can be applied in an excitable fashion by referees early in the season. If it's the rule of emphasis, it seems like we may have those calls 5 or 6 times in the first game, and then we may not see them for the rest of the season. We had one of those, I feel like, in the Skyline game where we had just thrown an 80-yard Hail Mary pass, and the ball was in the end zone, and the trailing referee ran into one of our coaches jumping around on the sideline and threw the flag, which put the extra point out of our reach for accuracy. But that was a rule of emphasis, and somebody was looking forward to having the opportunity to make that call. And so I'm all for safety, but with the caveat that let's not go looking for opportunities to call those, just to call them.
And that was a one-point game, if I remember right.
It was.
Let's ask a couple of these DBs that are sitting at the table here. Do you feel like you've had to learn some different things because of the rule changes in the last few years?
Yeah. Just the other day, one of the coaches said that after 5 yards, they don't want us to be like touching them at all. We can like eye guard them and stuff, but they said there's no contact after 5 yards. So we'll see how that works out. What type of how
you can't hardly light up a receiver anymore, right? Coming across the middle.
Can't even touch them.
Taking some of the fun stuff. Safety, right, Coach?
Hey, I want to go back to Adam. Adam, talk about, from your perspective, this quarterback battle, because it's probably good to be pushed, and your teammates. But how is it from your perspective through fall camp going to play itself out? How's that relationship with each other and the O-line?
Me and Brock are really good friends. We both help each other out with everything, and he has a good arm. He's a good athlete, and he's been playing it for a long time. I know he goes to a lot of camps for it, and it'll come down to whoever does better in practice, I guess, in front of coach. But, yep.
Well put.
Yeah. I want to ask Jaron about he talked a little bit about the fullback position in Huracan, but it really is that's kind of the linchpin that makes the offense work. You've got to have a good fullback. Going back to Jeremy Healy or Brian Scott, some of those great fullbacks that you guys have had over the years. Is there any pressure on you? Do you feel that at all?
There's definitely a history of Huracan having great fullbacks, and that it stays in the back of my head and it pushes me to be better. I know that I'm not the biggest fullback Hurricanes have, but I know that I can put a wailing on whoever's going to be trying to tackle me. I could lower my shoulders and I can use what I got, and if I use what I got and do what fits me and suits me best when I run the ball, that I can get the yards that I need. And
there has to be a certain attitude, right? As a fullback at Huracan High, there has to be some kind of meanness to you, right?
Yeah, that normally happens more when I'm on the field. I try to keep the field and this a little bit separate. I kind of let it all come out on the field, but you definitely carry a lot of pressure, and that makes you focus more when you're there, and you got to put your game face on and just be ready to hit.
Got about 2 minutes left here with the Huracan Tigers at our 2017 Region 9 Football Media Day. Coach, you are one of the smaller schools now in 4A. What does your two-way situation look like, and your thoughts on that?
There may be some places that personnel-wise we may be in a bind. But the beauty of that is that means opportunity for other young men. And we would love to be able to play as many young men on the field as we possibly can. I am not one to want to play the 7 or the same 11 players on both sides. I'd love to expand that, and at the end of the day, if we can get 33 kids on the field on both sides of the ball, that would be a great thing. Like I said, we've got a good senior class. They're good young men. They're, the young men to my left are a good representative of our senior class in that we have AP students, we have Eagle Scouts, we have honor roll students, great young men who are quick learners, and they're very committed and dedicated. And some of them are going to have to be plugged into spots that maybe they in their wildest dreams had never expected. We talked about Palmer Lee Mesa earlier being plugged into a guard, and he may be our other starting guard besides Shane. We also had another senior fullback, Robert Johnson, who made that same move. And so as we proceed through August, we may start to do a little mix and match and fill in the gaps that we have to balance us out.
With that, we're going to wrap up our time allotted here for the Huracan Tigers. Appreciate Coach Pearson, Colby Heaton, Jaron Cordova, Shane Farnsworth, as well as Adam Hayron for joining us here representing the Tigers. The Tigers Den will get rowdy August 25th, that first game against Christian. Season opener, it's August 18th on the road at Mountain View. Guys, thanks for being here. Have a great season.
Thank you.
Thanks.
We'll take a 5-minute timeout. When we come back, Media Day continues here from the CEC TV studios, also streaming on stgeorgenews.com, ESPN Radio, and our website as well. Thanks for locking us in. Don't go away.
So we were walking to school. At the corner, we waited for the traffic light.
I started thinking about lunch. Mom packed me turkey and cheese.
She's
I really
smart,
want cheese pizza,
but
like at Luigi's.
sometimes her mind wanders.
They have this video game there, and Kate's got the high score. We should have a sleepover. Maybe I should pack my pajamas.
I remember saying, Laura? Laura?
I think I heard Mom say something.
The sign says don't walk.
Sometimes it's so overwhelming.
When we finally got there,
she gave me a hug goodbye.
I really hope she doesn't have another bad day
at school today.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. That's why there's Understood.org, a free online resource for the parents of the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues. Here you'll get personalized recommendations, practical tips, daily access to experts, and more. Go from misunderstanding to Understood.org.
Your son wants to get a cat,
I'll really take care of it.
but you're allergic. Do you A, prepare yourself, B, make the best of it,
C squared equals 25. Good job!
or C, find a loophole? When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
We'd do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
You don't have to be so strong.
Strength is not optional. This is my mother, my purpose. Real muscle is lifting her spirits between bedpans and bad news from doctors that doubt her strength. Strength is buried in bills, managing meds, and swallowing those moments of Mom, it's me, your daughter. Remember? My strength is super, but I'm still human, right?
Find support for your strength. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community.
Daisy is 6 years old, and she is my very best friend. I couldn't live alone without her. I spend a lot of time in my backyard. I feed the birds and the bees. I love my flowers. The color in my garden keeps the pink in my cheeks. I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell and I had to have Meals on Wheels. I love them. They're my savior. And I look forward to the volunteers because they've all become my friends. My name is Lola Silvestri. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
And our 2017 Region 9 Football Media Day continues here. And thanks for locking us in on Sports Radio 97.7 ESPN. We're inside the CEC TV studios. You can access on our mobile app or on stgeorgenews.com. Lots of ways you can link to the live video feed if you're heading home and you want to tune in for the coverage. And all of it will be podcast as well. We got Mike Mcgarry, Andy Griffin. I'm Devin Dixon. And now in the building, the Snow Canyon Warriors and second-year head coach Mike Esplin with the Warriors. Jaden Lacayo, also Zach Nowatzki, Spencer Snow, and Austin Staley. And Coach, just like we did last year, turn it over to you for just a few minutes. And who did I miss somebody? Wyatt Perry. I'm sorry, yeah. Wyatt, I didn't see your nameplate. Wyatt Perry is representing the Warriors as well. Coach, if we can start with you and tell us about the offseason and the overall outlook and preview for your team this year.
Sure. We come back with a lot more experience, and that always is a calm feeling, which we don't get a lot of as coaches, but 6-7 guys on both sides coming back that have almost a full year of starting experience, big senior class, and we haven't had that the last couple years. So leadership and all of those things grow because of the numbers that we have and the solid kids that we have in the senior class. Had a great off season. We feel further ahead than we have since I've been in the head coaching role. X's and O's, conditioning, weight room. We have a plan. We've been really organized. Kids have shown up and worked really hard. Got a chance to go up to Mountain View and do a joint camp with Mountain View, I believe the first time we've ever done that. So now instead of just beating up on each other, we've got a chance to actually compete against another team. And that was a great experience. Their coaches and administration and kids, they were great when we were up there. Also got Highland, who I came from before I came back to St. George, to come and scrimmage with us. So we had a 3-team scrimmage at the end of our camp, and it was excellent. So I'd say the off season went according to plan. Things were good, and we're really excited to get a chance for a real game soon.
That'll come August 18th against UNA at home, then non-region games against Ridgeline and Las Vegas before September 8th, the Region 9 opener against the Dixie Flyers. Coach, what do you like? What do you see in those non-region games?
I mean, that's a solid 3 games. I like that we're at home 3 games because we were driving to Uinta, then to Idaho to play in the Rocky Mountain Rumble, and then took a week off and then went straight back to Ogden last year. So maybe one of those trips is okay. That was a tough preseason. We were mentally beat up a little bit from traveling, so we're excited. But I think it gives us, Uinta's Peacock now is their head coach, so we'll basically be facing Cedar's triple option that we used to see. And game one, that's exciting to get a chance to go against an old rival that's now at UNA. Ridgeline obviously has been really, really good. Almost immediately, we ended our season last year in a really bad loss to them, so to get a chance that quick for us is exciting. And then Las Vegas should be super athletic and give us some spread, read option stuff that we need to get good at for our region. So I'm excited about the preseason games.
Coach, teams we have coming up still in our show are Desert Hills, Pineview, and Dixie. That's kind of everybody considers now the big three in Region 9. What do the Warriors have to do to maybe break that little cartel there and become part of the big three?
You know, there's so many close games in our region, and they've found a way to win more of those close games over the years than the other teams in the region. So they've earned, you know, that right to be in that strong group of three teams, and certainly respect them. I think athletically and talent-wise, you know, especially with our ones, with our starters, we're right there competitive with the other teams that I see. But until you start actually winning those close games, moral victories don't count. So we're not happy with our record last year. I think we did have some moral victories where we were really playing with the best teams, as did Cedar and other people. That same thing. But until you win most of those, you're not going to be considered, you know, in that group. And so that's what we need to do.
So the difference is razor thin, and you're just trying to get over that little hump then.
And I think a lot of it's a mental thing. I think that they've learned how to win, and they expect to win. You know, Snow Canyon, when I was coming through playing, we expected to win every game that we played, and generally we did. And so we've been going through a fairly long process, and it takes time to change the culture and the belief. But I believe personally, and I think our guys believe that we're in that class and we're able to compete, and we just need to finish games now.
Coach, you mentioned your kids coming back, and obviously you got pretty decent on both sides of the ball. If I ask you if that was the key you look at, saying you think really helps you come into this stronger, what would be some of the keys as far as prepping now for the new season?
That's always the first key, is how many reps have they already received in a game speed, because you can't replicate that. So when you get to the first game, if you've got a kid or multiple kids that have never played, it takes a couple games even to really get used to that game speed. But if you've done it for a year, you can jump back in and really get going quickly. So, and a big senior class. I mean, leadership is something that we've been preaching for years now. We got to the point where every Tuesday, was it Tuesdays we did? We would go in at lunch and meet in the auditorium, and we would basically teach them leadership principles. And we've got them to a point where our captain's just newly named, and they're all here. Now can speak for the team and let us know what's going on their end, get in on decisions with us, and take a little bit more initiative as far as the direction of the team. And that's helpful as coaches to have those guys, because really that's who the team looks to. They look to the coaches, sure, but they want to have the leaders of the team, the players, showing them the way.
Well, let's meet the players here representing the Snow Canyon Warriors in our media day time allotted. Jaden Lacayo, Zach Nowatzki, Spencer Snow, Austin Staley, Wyatt Perry. I missed Wyatt earlier, so I'm going to start with you, Wyatt. Talk about your excitement level, some team goals that you've talked about with your brothers, and your expectations for the Warriors this year.
Just trying to do our best every game, kind of a thing. Last year, fell short a couple times. Trying to change the culture, I guess, because we didn't win a lot of games. So just really change that and work hard, and we'll be good.
Austin, you want to talk a little bit about family tradition? I was joking about your dad earlier, but you've had brothers play and stuff like that, and I mean, you're Snow Canyon through and through. Tell me about that a little bit.
Well, my dad started coaching he coached about 15 years ago, and he's always, I don't know, we grew up around like a team atmosphere, and he's always taught us like team first, and always putting the team first and be together and be united and always have the same goal in mind. And then my brother, obviously, I think he played as a sophomore, and he was a good athlete, and he's always harped on me to, I don't know, think about the team, and it's always team first, and not, I don't know, not yourself. So, yeah.
Thanks, appreciate it. Spencer, I remember doing stats last year and add them up, and I'm like, who is this Spencer Snow guy? Why does his name keep popping up on all these different stats and things like that? You kind of seemed like to me you're a guy that flew under the radar, and yet somehow, because you kept making plays, you were on the radar. Can you talk about your role last year and what's expected this year of you?
Yeah. So last year, my junior year, I kind of went in there, and we had a lot of seniors that I looked up to and I've been playing with for a long time. And I was able to go in there and make some plays, and I got a start. And it was just good having that experience, being able to start and play all the games and just get through there. And it was tough at the very end with Ridgeline, with that bad loss, but it was fun all last year to be able to play.
What about this year? What's expected of you?
I expect a lot out of myself and a lot out of everyone else too. Me and Jaden on the defensive line, so hopefully we can do really good on there. I expect a lot of good stuff to come out of this year from us.
Zach, you were a burner. You kind of burst on the scene last year. What have you been doing in the offseason to be even quicker, faster, better hands?
Yeah, well, I've been working a lot just with on the field and going to the weight room, spending a lot of time in the weight room and on the field, working on my speed, working on catching, doing lots of drills to help improve so I can do better, even better this year.
How's the chemistry with you and Austin been in camp so far?
Really good. We work together really good.
Austin, how talk about winning that starting quarterback job. This is your senior year. It's got to feel good, but I know it was quite a battle.
Yeah, so last year at the end of the season, I basically made a commitment to myself that I was going to work hard and I was going to earn the spot. And so we talked with Coach, and they set out a plan for us. And so in the off season, I worked and hit the weights, and I tried to get stronger. And then we went a bunch of 7-on-7s, and I just tried to make sure I got the ball out on time, on target, hitting the guy right in the open spot. And I don't know, I really worked, but I don't know, I couldn't have done it without any of the receivers I had. And we got a good receiving core coming back this year, and so I'm excited for the receivers that we have coming back.
We haven't asked Jaden a question yet, and I think it's because we're afraid of him. We're looking at his guns, and I think he could pick up the table and just throw it at us. So, Jaden, talk a little bit about the weight room and what it's meant in your life the last couple of years.
I've always grown up since I was 5 years old. My dad always telling me, gym is where it's at. If you don't got it in the gym, you're not going to be a good athlete on the field. And I wasn't too serious about the weight room freshman, sophomore year, and then I started picking it up junior year, and then after football season junior year, I was like, I had no scholarships coming in, so I made a commitment to myself that I was going to keep working harder. And I've never worked harder in my life, and I really do believe that if you can be successful in the weight room, you're going to be successful on the field, because if you can, football is like 80% mental, but the 20% physical part. If you're stronger than most of the teams, that's going to give you an edge on most of the teams you'll play. And like I said, I've always grown up saying hard work beats talent, so that's how I feel.
Has the weight room practices changed since when you played, Mike?
I mean, there's just so much more of that stuff, and you're always trying to decide, do we continue to add? As a coach, that's almost all you continue to add until you're winning all the games you want to win. But there's probably a line somewhere where you're doing too much. But I know nowadays you get done about Thanksgiving with football, even if you go all the way to the championship, and we usually give them December off, and then we start lifting again in January. So compared to how it was when we were there, you used to jump into another sport, and we still luckily have a lot of our kids that play multiple sports, and we preach that and want them to. And so the way it is at Snow Canyon is if you're not in another sport, then we expect you to come to the weight room. So we've started out giving some awards, some T-shirts to guys who are reaching certain points. This is the only so far, what do we call it? ultimate warrior that we have on our team. He's the strongest guy on our team in every single lift. So yeah, definitely the table he could handle. But we've made some organizational things that I think have helped us. Weight training is one of those things. We've really researched and talked and met with as many people as we could, both in football and more in the gym world. We have Coach Thompson, James Thompson, who also works with our receivers, that has taken over the strength training and has done a great job. He's just a player's coach. He's out there doing things with them, still athletic. So it's been a good off-season that way.
Are you still lifting with them too, Coach?
I need to. Good reminder. I need to. I'm with them in there all the time.
Yelling.
Yeah. Telling them to lift.
I have a follow-up question. I mean, so many close losses. It seemed like the region last year, Spencer, I'll ask you, was filled with a lot of close losses. You guys, 22-16 Huracan got you barely. 13-7 Pineview got you by 6, and I could go on and on. How does that resonate? How does that motivate you? And what do you foresee in Region 9 this year?
It motivates you a lot because losing a lot of those close games, it kind of sucked. Just, being so close, being almost there and just failing like a little bit. The Pineview games, one of the worst ones for me. I thought we could have had that, but, we should. This year, I think that we all know what it takes to win the games, and we can go in there and if all of us can do our jobs, and I think we can come out with a lot more wins than we had last year.
Tradition's a word I just like to use, and I've been around here long enough to know that the tradition at Snow Canyon is very good. I mean, in the past years, you've been state champions. They've done a lot. Now, I realize that's not you guys playing, but do you look back at that? Do you feel a bit of pride? You talk about the warrior spirit. I remember, hearing them. There's magic in that golden green. Do they still use that, by the way? Maybe I'm the only oldest one here. But anyway, do you look at that? Do you set goals? Do you think about that when you look forward and say, this is what we as warriors want to be? And any of you can answer that.
Yeah, I think so. Like, we have team goals. On our defense, we were supposed to set 5 goals for ourselves and 5 goals as a team defense that we wanted to set. And just, knowing, Coach talks a lot about us, how they used to win state championships, and it was just like you expected to win. And I think that we're going to come in this year, and we expect to win a lot more games and get in there and win.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
Coach, you had good kicking game the last few years. How's your kicking game looking this season?
Maybe the best kicking game our kicker can punt and kick. He can do it all. I don't know that we have. It was nice having him and Barber last year. You knew they both could do it. We have some freshmen that are good kickers coming through the program, but Andy Day, I know Utah State has been looking at him primarily as a punter, rugby kid, so he's able to kind of place the ball and work on angles. He's really, really good. He'll be one of the best kickers. I mean, maybe the best kicker I've ever coached. And I coached a guy who's one of Utah's kickers, Hicken, there, and I would say Andy Day's poised to be a Division I guy. So.
You let any of these guys play rugby besides your kicker?
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I know rugby's big over.
Yeah, and I think we're on good terms. I think we have. You always want more kids, but I think we have a great relationship with their coaches.
Andy J. Day's son?
Yes, sir.
Okay, there we go. Now I've connected all the dots.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Very good.
It seems like rivalries, every night's a rivalry in Region 9, but do you guys notice, since you've been freshmen, who Snow Canyon's biggest rivalry feels like it is?
I feel like you and Desert Hills are Pineview. I don't know. I feel like for me, it's always been Desert Hills or Pineview because, coming into high school, we lost to Desert Hills in the 8th grade championship, so, that's always stuck with me. And my freshman and sophomore year, well, not my sophomore year, but freshman year, we came really close to beating them. We only lost by, 4 points, I think.
7-3.
Yeah, 7-3, yep. And then...
Good memory, Coach.
Yeah.
Two of those games with them.
And then sophomore year, we went and beat Dixie, and then, I think we just got really confident, and then we got destroyed by Desert Hills. And after that, it was just like, oh, man, these guys, we got to beat them because, you know, you always want to beat the team you can never beat. And then we came back in the playoffs and beat them with that awesome touchdown with like 20 seconds left. But I just feel like it's either Desert Hills or Pineview because we've never been able to close out on them. I mean, we haven't been able to beat Huracan, but I just feel like those two games, Desert Hills and Pineview, mean more to us.
Well, good call. They both played first state championship last year, but you're not that far away.
You look at the last few games with Pineview, I mean, you've got a triple overtime game that we thought we had won multiple times. And then last year, we felt like we were in control of that game. And obviously, you know, great coaches and kids used to winning and all of that, they end up getting the W. But we look to get more of those close wins for sure.
Is there a theme this year, Coach? Is there a motto that you're using, or is it the same as last year? Or something new?
We're still talking Warrior Brotherhood. We think that's really what we're teaching is how to be a good young man and how to work in a team. We think that kind of embodies the way we look at it. So you could say family or something else too, but that's Warrior Brotherhood's still what we're talking about mostly as a theme.
All right, Coach Mike Esplin, Snow Canyon Warriors. First game, August 18th against Uinta, then Ridgeline, Las Vegas, and then September 8th, Region 9 opener against the Dixie Flyers. Wyatt, Austin, Spencer, Zach, Jaden, thanks for being here, Coach. Best of luck this season.
Appreciate it. Good to see you guys.
We'll take another 5-minute timeout. Media Day coverage continues when we come back. Don't go away.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. My daughter Brooklyn was also a motivation for me to go back to school.
It's been so amazing to be able to give our child the life that we kind of pictured us having, even though we didn't really have that.
I've been in foster care my whole life.
He's so strong to just be able to leave that all behind and still be able to take care of his daughter and be a good husband.
Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off. I could not have done it alone.
We've been through so much in our life, and he never used that as an excuse, but as motivation to do better.
I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Get caught buzz driving, and you could do some hard time.
Craig, knock it off.
Sorry, Mom. It could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. And that could set you back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Everything starts out small. The things that hurt us, they all start from somewhere. The words we say, the things we do, they can grow into something else. What was small and innocent can become big and sometimes scary. All it takes is one comment, one picture, one video for something to catch fire. But a big problem doesn't need a big response. Not at first. Even if we don't know what to say, the eye emoji can be that first step we take. Let's all pledge to take that first small step together and change the world in a big way. I'm a witness, and so are you.
Retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing. After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak, and I appreciated it very much, the attention that was given. My name is Julius Gaines, creative writer, poet, photographer. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason. Because it means love and devotion for one's country. Love. But what really makes up this country of ours? What is it we love? It's the people. Almost half the country belongs to minority groups. People who are lesbian, African American, and bi, and transgender, and Native American, and proud of it. After all, what's more American than freedom to celebrate the things that make us, us? This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, disability, sexuality, race, religion, and any other labels. Because the second any of us judge people based on those labels, we're not really being patriotic, are we? Because love has no labels.
And welcome back. 2017 Region 9 Football Media Day from the CEC TV studios. Devin Dixon, Mike Mcgarry, Andy Griffin, Andy Thompson going to join us in just a minute, and we keep the teams rolling in. We've already had Canyon View and Cedar and Huracan and Snow Canyon just moments ago. And now the Dixie Flyers have made it here into the building. And thanks for accessing us no matter how you are out there watching or listening. And let's introduce Coach Andy Stokes, Coach Wayne Alafopo, and players representing the Dixie Flyers today: Hobbs Nyberg, Jacob Barbin, Peyton Wilgar, and Caden Williams. We'll get to the players in just a minute. But Coach Stokes, Coach Wayne, we'll start with you guys and just give us kind of a little bit about your summer, any camps you went to, and an overall preview and outlook for the Flyers football team for the 2017 season.
Summer was good. We had a great off season. You know, we always have a good year in the weight room. We had a lot of fun this summer. Went to some camps up north, BYU 7-on-7. That was enjoyable. We went down to UNLV 7-on-7 and SUU's football camp, which might possibly be the best camp out there, I think. They take good care of us every year. The weight room was good. The kids participated. I think we probably averaged 50 kids every time we lifted, rotating through there. So it was a good off season. The kids enjoyed themselves. I enjoyed myself. We competed quite a bit. Dixie High School, we like to compete a lot. So that's kind of the key to every day. Every day you show up, you know you're going to be put into a competition. So we had a good fun since January.
Coach Stokes joining us here, 7-4 overall, 5-0 last year in Region 9. Coach Wayne, give us your thoughts on trying to go undefeated in region and then have a better run in the postseason this year compared to last.
Yeah, I mean, as far as going undefeated, we just, that's not it. We just want to make sure we're doing our best. We take game one, we're getting ready for Springville, and then see if we can prepare ourselves. We think we got a good slate of preseason games that allow us to prepare pretty well for our tough region. We've got Springville and Lone Peak and Tooele, which Tooele runs that double wing T, so they give us a little mix, and then we got two physical teams right up front. So we're excited about that. And then, as you guys all know, every coach before us has talked about how this region is tough from top to bottom. So we'll see how that plays out when we get to that point. But we're just excited to get back at it and get the kids out there and get the camaraderie going and see if we can make some good chemistry out there.
All right, let's open it up to the panel of media for coaches' questions.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you guys, the theme in the last three press conferences we had with the other teams is how can they get over that razor-thin hump and win those close games? Those were games you guys won last year. Those were games, someone's within a touchdown, but you find a way to pull them out. What do you think is the difference? How come you were able to win those and some of those teams maybe weren't able to win those close games?
We don't think too much about that. First of all, we preach this to our kids every single day. You don't win games on Friday night. You win games in January, you win games in April, and you win games when you're tired and you're training and you push it just a little bit harder. And that's what wins games. I mean, honestly, we've been obviously platooning our kids for like 7 years, and that's kind of catching on now. A lot of teams are starting to do that, and that helps. But also our kids are competing, and our kids are working hard every single day from January to August. And we say at Dixie High School, you win games January to August. You show up Friday night, that's fun. You earn the opportunity to be on the field January through August.
Very good, Coach.
So I want you to predict the score at Springville. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Springville, how many years now for Springville?
That's a good rivalry. I mean,
somebody's going to win that thing. They've been playing Springville for I think there's been over like 30 matches, period. So they were playing it well before Monkers and myself got here. And then I think Coach Monkers actually re-upped with them.
20-year deals at a time? Or?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm always good to play them. One thing you always get with Springville is you get tough kids. And you get tough competition, and that's an incredible measuring stick for us. I think they're slated to win 5A this year. Yeah. And, well, they should be. They got a lot of dudes back, and they're an incredible team and incredible coaching staff.
Lone Peak also highly ranked this year, and you play Madison, team out of California, your bye week later in September. Just as a whole, talk about that non-region slate.
I love it. Like Coach said, that prepares us. And we want to go into our preseason just like we play our offseason. We want to compete. There's no chance, as long as Coach Wayne and I are here, that we're gonna play somebody that we're gonna roll up. We want to sign dudes up that we're gonna compete against and are gonna sharpen our blades. And I think all those teams will. Lone Peak, obviously, they're a powerhouse in 6A this year. And then Madison, we couldn't find a game. Alta didn't want to play us again. Timpview had a bye week that week. I told them we'd come up there. They didn't want to play us. So I ended up calling this guy from San Diego because I might as well go there if I'm going to go to Bear River. We go down there and hang out on the beach. I called him. He said the same thing. They won the state championship in San Diego last year. He said, we can't get a game. I said, we can't get a game, and we'll be happy to come down to California. I bet it'll be 85 degrees.
So here we go.
Yeah, we're happy.
Ocean breeze and everything.
Yeah, no doubt. They're right by the ocean. They're 5 miles from the ocean. So we'll stay there overnight and go hang out on Saturday.
Do you like the order in which you get your region games this year?
You know what? I haven't paid too much attention to that.
Pineview, Candyview, Huracan, Desert Hills, Cedar, your final game.
Well, I wish I didn't have to play Cedar last. At Cedar.
Could be cold.
It's probably going to snow. So, other than that, I don't think we really care. Next man up. You know what I mean? We're gonna show up every week prepared to play somebody, and be excited about it. So we got to. I think Region 9. We went to 4A. I still think Region 9's stacked, and you still got to come down. You got to still come through Region 9 to get the trophy. So we're happy to compete every week against whoever we get to compete against.
I know we're going to ask Jacob in a minute about the injury and coming off of it, but as his coach, how is he coming back from that devastating injury a year ago?
We've been practicing, and Jacob looks good. I didn't know if we would ever get back to where we were against Huracan, and where we were against Huracan is I didn't think I was going to have to call another play for the rest of the year. He was at that point mentally where he was everything. He'd come off the sideline and say, these 3 plays, we need to run them next. All right, go run them. And then we go score, and he's smooth, he's smart, and he's on top of his game, and he's right back there right now. It took some time. In the offseason, it was a struggle. He'll tell you the same thing. We had some rough days, and we had some days where we couldn't figure out if it was our foot was bothering us or if our mind was bothering us. But he's there. He's back, and he's obviously driving this bus. And but one thing he's done a fabulous job of that I did a bad job of last year, obviously, is developing the next dudes. So Jacob's taken a big part in developing our underclassmen and our next quarterbacks so that if something happens, we'll be ready. And I think that's a lesson we learned last year. And it was a hard lesson, but we learned it, and we're ready to go.
I know Hobbs appreciates that.
No doubt. Well, Hobbs is trying to figure out how to get Jacob to throw him the ball this year, so he's had a couple of days where he's gone over.
Well, let's meet and hear from the student athletes representing the Dixie Flyers: Hobbs Nyberg, Jacob Barban, Peyton Wilgar, and Caden Williams. And Hobbs, how tough was that? I mean, Mahi, got some time there, and then you got thrust into the quarterback position. I mean, I'm sure you prefer to go catch it rather than throw it.
It was a lot harder without Jacob because we have such a good connection, but me and Nate tried to find one, but it's a lot harder for Nate too because he was just trying to learn all the plays at quarterback and all the reads, but it's really nice to have him back and fun having him out there because he's a leader and a great player to be around.
How have you split up your off-season football and baseball? Has it been mixed?
Yeah, all summer I've been trying to put as much work as I can into both sports, but I spend a lot on football and baseball whenever I can.
Oh, do you play baseball, Hobbs? We didn't know that. Is he a good player? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Do you guys think about that game up at SUU against Pineview and what happened that night and the circumstances that led to it and everything? How much does that drive you now getting ready for this year?
I think it helps us keep us motivated because it was a hard ending for all of us, especially without Jacob out there, seeing him standing there just watching us lose. I think that was really hard, so we'll be ready.
We should ask Jacob about what he was thinking that night. Must have been terribly frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, I think I could have helped the team, but the injury happened. There's nothing to do about it, so I just tried to do what I could to help next man up, which was Nate, and that's all. I mean, there's not much you can do besides just encourage you guys, so that's what I tried to do.
I want to hear a little bit about the rehab process and the journey from your perspective. I mean, how frustrating was it at times? How rewarding was it to get into practice this fall?
Yeah, I mean, it was really frustrating when it happened. I mean, I was on crutches for 4.5 months and then in a boot for another month and a half or two. So, and then once I finally got to get out of it and get back to football, I was super excited, and it's just great being back, being able to play and work with the guys.
I'm wondering, Jacob, last year, at least earlier on in the season when you were still healthy and working with Hobbs and the offense, it seemed at times all 11 guys' eyes were on Hobbs when he was on the field, and you did a really good job spreading it around. How difficult it is for you to have the discipline not to try to force it to Hobbs every single time because he's such a good playmaker?
I mean, it's tempting sometimes just to lock onto Hobbs, but I mean, we got some dudes this year that are going to have stepped up this summer, and we got Peyton Hara, Nate Mahi, Josh Gazier, Wyatt Forbes, and even more guys that we got tons of depth that we can put guys in that I trust. So Hobbs is a great player, but we got other guys too if they want to put all 11 guys on.
Peyton, I hear that maybe you're moving positions. Is that true? Safety, maybe linebacker?
Yeah, I'm actually moving down to outside linebacker, and it's definitely a different feel, and I got different assignments and reads that I need to make, but I got a lot of guys helping me out, and I'm excited for that position.
Yeah, I don't think you look very much like your older brother. We knew RJ pretty well, but can you talk? Does he mentor you? Is he a part of your life as far as football right now?
Yeah, he's actually on his mission, and every week all we talk about is football and a lot of different stuff about football, and he wants to come back and try to play if we can play together.
Very nice.
Caden, on that edge, you got T. Fish on one side, and then there you on the other side. Talk about arguably the two best defensive ends in the state playing on the same team.
Me and Tyson, we work hard at practice. We compete with each other, try to make each other better a lot, all the time. We get at it a lot, especially with our good offensive linemen we have. They push us every day to get us better too. So it's fun playing with him, knowing I can trust someone on that other side and then do my own thing on my side.
So if he gets double teamed, does it trickle down so that you're one-on-one and maybe some more opportunities for you?
I mean, it can happen like that, but we have our linebackers and stuff. We're all pretty set. So,
Peyton, who's going to be taking Fakahua's role on the defense this year? Who's going to be that leader by example and vocally?
We're not quite sure. We got a lot of linebackers this year fighting for positions, but we're all pretty sound. We're all ready for that role.
Coach, you gonna let Hobbs play a little defense this year too, or?
Hobbs is going to play whatever he can compete and get a job doing. We had a talk this morning. If you go play defense, you better not let anybody get by. That's all you get. I mean, you get that opportunity, and if you don't take advantage of it, You're going to be catching passes. So he loves defense. He wants to play defense. We'll let him play over there. Hey, everybody else is platooning. We might just go the other way. We might just start playing dudes both ways. We want to be the new trend.
Coach Wayne, talk about some holes to fill on the offensive line. You lost some talent from last year.
Yeah, we did. I mean, we lost all 5 guys on that offensive line side. So we're you know, with all the weapons that we have back, that's the, as you guys know, that's the most important part. It doesn't work with that front 5. So Coach Will Lieber, our offensive line, and shuffling through a bunch of, but you know, Coach Andy goes over there every once in a while when he can. He's kind of got his hands in a bunch of different jars, you know, so that's kind of his hat he's wearing right now. He's got who we trust, and so we're excited about what we. That's key right now. And things you got to make sure that they can actually get.
Trying to think down here, and everybody's saying Dixie still expected to do champion again. You lost some good guys. You got to retool. But I know you went for a former coach, played for a former coach that said somebody's got to wear that bullseye. It might as well be us. I mean, Coach Croshaw I'm talking about. But do you like that? I mean, isn't that a good position to be in? People respect you and the Flyers?
You know, we're grateful for that. But the honest truth is we put that bullseye back on everyone else. We have nothing but respect for the other teams we play. Desert Hills, Pine View, Snow Canyon, Cedar, Huracan, everyone, Canyon View now coming back in the mix. You know, that's our mentality. Is we just make sure that bullseye's not on us. The bullseye's on them. I mean, because we got nothing but respect for them. We got to go earn it.
Hobbs, how much did you get face guarded last year?
I'm not sure. I mean, we had lots of good receivers, so I don't know how much they face guarded me.
Are you up to speed on the new rule change that it's now allowed as long as there's no contact?
Yeah, I mean, it might make it a little bit harder. You got to focus in on more catches, but I don't think it'll affect the gameplay that much.
Coach, what about the rule changes from your perspective? There's the lead with your hands on that backside block. That's a big deal.
Obviously, anything that's going to protect the kids is good. I support that. I like that. And I think I can't remember who I just told out in the hallway, but if you play football with your helmet, then you probably shouldn't be playing football. Football's that's meant to protect you, not to be used as a weapon. So at our camp, we teach kids not to play with their helmets. We don't block with our helmets. We don't tackle with our helmets. We don't do anything with our helmets. So that rule kind of slides right into our court. We like it. We appreciate it. I appreciate taking care of the kids. So I think it's good. I mean, the blindside block, I mean, is it necessary? Probably not. Kids just want that on their highlight reel. So that doesn't get you a scholarship.
Let me go back to quarterback, Jacob. A lot of talk about the injury. Are you 100%? Are you 95%? And then second part to the question is, I always compare the Dixie offense to like playing Madden. You know, you got the controller out, and you got 5 guys, and they all have option routes and things like that. Do you play Madden? Is it something that you would compare it to as well? Start with the injury first.
Yeah, I'm about 100%. I mean,
about 99?
Yeah, we'll say 99%.
Okay.
But I mean, I don't really play much Madden. I've played a couple times, but you're right. We have 5 guys that do have option routes or have to make their reads during their routes, and guys that can make plays, and they're all options for me. So I want to try to find the open one.
So Hobbs, when you run a pass pattern, is there ever a time where you run a set pattern and there is no option? You're just running a pattern, or is it an option every time?
No, there's definitely routes I got to run the specific pattern so the other people can get open too. But there's obviously routes that I can have an option and read to get open to.
Got 2 minutes left with the Dixie Flyers. Coach Stokes, Coach Wayne, we've got Hobbs, Jacob, and Peyton and Caden. Coach 4A now, 25 teams in the class, 16 will make the playoffs. A little bit of a change. More teams in 4A now.
You know what? We were able to watch a lot of those teams in Salt Lake when we went up there, at Cedar when we went down there. We played some 7-on-7 against those guys. Orem's real good. Skyview's going to be real good. The new school in Cache is going to be good. Green River. I think he took a lot of kids from Skyview when he went there. Obviously, Desert Hills is going to be good. Pineview's got everybody back from a state championship team. I love the fact that there's more teams, and I love the fact that it matters now. Every week matters. You got to come in the top 4. You're not going, no matter how good you are. Where last year, you could go in the 5th place team and win a game in playoffs, which was crazy. Now it matters. You got to get the right seed. You got to get in there. You got to compete every week, and you got to make sure you make the playoffs. Where before you kind of just got to slide in there, but making the playoffs doesn't get you a win either anymore. So you're gonna have to go. That 4 seed is gonna have to go play Orem or Skyview, who's a big school. Those are big schools. So we look forward to competing against them and. Spanish Forks back in. We played them a couple of years ago in a state championship, so they got a good program. And there's a lot of good programs in there, and we hope to be one of them.
And we'll end on that note, our time up for the Dixie Flyers here at our 2017 Media Day. Appreciate Coach Stokes, Coach Wayne Lofpo, Hobbs Nyberg, Jacob Barbin, Peyton Wilgar, and Caden Williams for joining us representing the Flyers. Best of luck to you all this season.
Thank you.
I appreciate our great sponsors, Holbrook Asphalt, Johnson Pediatric Dentistry, as well as Finley Volkswagen, bringing you today's Media Day coverage from the CEC TV studios. We'll be back on ESPN Radio after this 5-minute timeout.
So we were walking to school. At the corner, we waited for the traffic light.
I started thinking about lunch. Mom packed me turkey and cheese.
She's
I really
smart,
want cheese pizza,
but
like at Luigi's.
sometimes her mind
They have
wanders.
this video game there, and Kate's got the high score. We should have a sleepover. Maybe I should pack my pajamas.
I remember saying, Laura? Laura?
I think I heard Mom say something.
The sign says don't walk.
Sometimes it's so overwhelming.
When we finally got there,
she gave me a hug goodbye.
I really hope she doesn't
I
have
really
another
hope I
bad
don't
day
have
at
another
school
bad day at
today.
school today.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. That's why there's Understood.org, a free online resource for the parents of the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues. Here you'll get personalized recommendations, practical tips, daily access to experts, and more. Go from misunderstanding to Understood.org.
Your son wants to get a cat, but you're allergic. Do you A, prepare yourself, B, make the best of it,
C squared equals 25.
Good job!
or C, find a loophole? When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
We'd do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
You don't have to be so strong.
Strength is not optional. This is my mother, my purpose. Real muscle is lifting her spirits between bedpans and bad news from doctors that doubt her strength. Strength is buried in bills, managing meds, and swallowing those moments of, Mom, it's me, your daughter. Remember? My strength is super, but I'm still human, right?
Find support for your strength. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community.
Daisy is 6 years old, and she is my very best friend. I couldn't live alone without her. I spend a lot of time in my backyard. I feed the birds and the bees. I love my flowers. The color in my garden keeps the pink in my cheeks. I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell and I had to have Meals on Wheels. I love them. They're my savior. And I look forward to volunteers because they've all become my friends. My name is Lola Silvestri. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live. Say a quick hello. Volunteer. Let'sDoLunch.org.
And welcome back here on ESPN Radio 2017 Region 9 Football Media Day. Devin Dixon, Andy Griffin, Mike Mcgarry, Andy Thompson joining us here. And we're going to get to the Pineview Panthers coming up in just a couple of minutes. But first, guys, let's kind of recap a little bit. And I want to remind everybody that the entire video feed with all our audio will be available. You can go and find that link to that on sportsradio977.com. I know Andy Griffin put a story out on stgeorgenews.com. You can link to that as well. If you missed any of our coverage today, you can go back and watch it and hear from all the coaches and the great players. And so far today, we've had Canyon View, we have Cedar, we had Huracan, we had Snow Canyon, and the Dixie Flyers. We have just the Panthers and the Thunder still coming up in the next few minutes here before 6 o'clock, and that's where we're planning to go to tonight. Mike, I just want to start with you and ask you what kind of stood out from some of the coaches we've already talked to today.
Yeah, I got to say that the thing I think that hit me almost from every one of them was weight room.
Yeah.
Weight room. We got to get in there. We've got to work it. The guys that got, and they're stronger. Andy made a good observation. Half of them are tougher than I wouldn't fool with any of them. But the bottom line is, I think they are stronger, faster, quicker kids. And it's because they're putting the time and effort in the weight room, and it's showing up on the field, no doubt about it.
Andy, what's resonated with you so far today?
I think the thing that sticks out for me is the razor-thin difference between the teams that were 1-4 and then the teams that were 3-2, 4-1, 5-0. I mean, there were a lot of close games last year, and maybe that ties right into what Mike was saying about the weight room. And maybe one team spent 10 more minutes in the weight room every day than the other team or whatever. Like Coach Esplin said, you got to draw the line somewhere. But I was really, really impressed with the fact that it's really close. And I think teams like Canyon View and Cedar and Snow Canyon and Huracan, they're fighting and they're trying to get that 1 extra, 2, 3 extra points, whatever it takes to get them into that upper echelon.
Andy, what resonated you with Coach Stokes and the Flyers who were just in here?
Yeah, well, we talk about razor-thin margins in Region 9, and what Coach Stokes said about really 4 teams instead of everybody last year going to the playoffs, only 4 teams, and how close all these games are. It just puts that much more emphasis on the regular season because 3 are going to be left out now.
All right, we're going to take a 2-minute timeout. When we come back, the Pineview Panthers and Coach Hosner will be here, and then Desert Hills following the Panthers. So don't go away. Appreciate our great sponsors, Finley Volkswagen, as well as Holbrook Asphalt. They're going to have the Big Score dessert back this year. You're going to hear all about that. And every time a Region 9 team scores over 25 points, everybody can get a free 5-ounce yogurt at Yogurtland after the games. And Johnson Pediatric Dentistry helping us out with the Media Day coverage as well here from CEC TV. 2-minute break, and we're back with the Pineview Panthers coming up next.
I'm a single mother, and I was the main one working, so I never thought that I could go back to school, you know. My sister, my mother, everybody wanted to help me with my kids. I could not have gotten my diploma without my family.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello? That's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Bye, Janet. It's nice seeing you again. You a good girl. Just let me know what I can do to help.
Well, to help me, she'd have to help every day. Every hour, every ouch, every time my wife calls for help. I mean, maybe she could help me make her lunch. But the crust, all the crust has to be cut off the corners. She could help me run to the doctor for the 5th time this week. Help me with the specialist and the second opinions and the painful paperwork about paperwork. Help me deal with how hard it is seeing my wife's name on so much paperwork. But this is on me. I'm the only one who can do this, like this, for her. Besides,
Take care.
we will. Janet doesn't like her cooking anyway.
Find support for your strength. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community.
Your daughter is having...
And welcome back to our 2017 Region 9 High School Football Media Day. Devin Dixon, Mike Mcgarry, Andy Griffin, Andy Thompson hanging out with the Pineview Panthers. Coach Ben Meyer here, the DB coach in the 7th year, filling in for Coach Hosner. And then we'll talk with the players representing the Pineview Panthers after some thoughts from Coach Meyer. We've got Austin Peterson, Christian Reese, Ryan Javinez, and Michael Moten. Coach, if we can, just kind of take us through the summer, talk about how the kids have been working, how fall camp's going so far, and give us an overall preview and outlook for the Panthers this year.
Yeah, summer went great. We had a lot of guys out in the weight room this summer, which is very important when you're trying to build up that strength and flexibility going into the season. Guys were coming out, participating in that. We did a few camps during the summer, the month of June. We went up to the Ute Shoot, performed well up there. Went to the BYU 7-on-7 camp, did well there. And then we took a shot at this new camp down at NAU. We had never been to that one before and went down and competed with some of the Arizona schools down there, which was a lot of fun and a good experience for us. So summer went well. The guys have had their time off to kind of recuperate and recharge the batteries per se, and now we're back at it, ready to roll. So.
And of course, a 10-3 season last year overall, 3-2 in Region 9, and a state championship appearance. And I'm sure that last second play has probably motivated you guys to work harder than ever coming into this year.
Yeah, for us, we don't want that one play to define who we are, but you're going to find motivation wherever you need to. And if that's something that we need to look at and finishing games, then we're going to look at that. But yeah, we're ready for this year. We're set and ready to go, and everybody's pretty fired up about this season and what's in store for the Pineview Panthers.
It's kind of been a theme today, how close the region. I mean, every team is good, and they're point here and there. You guys squeak past Snow Canyon, and then the last second of the last play of the last game of the year, you lose. And I mean, it really is. This region is so tight, isn't it? And the difference. I mean, what is the difference between winning and losing?
Yeah, it comes down to plays and finishing games. Some of those games you're going to be close, and we know that in Region 9. Region 9's always tough. It's been that way for a very long time. You can't overlook anyone in our region. We want to play everybody to the best of our ability, and so you've got to really go into each game really focused and finishing strong in each game.
Are you going to have the same machine gun, quick as you can, offensive attack this year?
I think so. I think Coach Shaw, he's got a lot of guys returning this year that already know the offense, which really helps out. And we like to play at that fast-paced tempo. The boys like that. Coach Shaw likes that. And if things are working the way that we want them to, it's fun to work like that machine, get things firing real quick for our offense and moving fast. So.
Coach, I'm curious, the last couple of years, you've dominated in outer region play. I don't think you, if I remember correctly, didn't lose 2 years in a row in outer region. Let's talk about this year's outer region games, including Lehigh that second week. Yeah, Lehigh's one we're looking forward to. We know that they have a good team this year, a good strong quarterback that's been recruited heavily, and I believe is going to Washington State. So you always have to be prepared for some good competition. I know they have other players that are performing well for them at this time. But we're going to go in and again, we're going to prepare like we do for anybody else, and just give them all we can.
This region, this classification, to me, quickly becoming a real north versus south. I mean, the south is growing. Obviously, you're back together as Region 9. You've added the Falcons back in. I see your first game, you're taking on one of the new teams from up north, in Green Canyon. Does that help, hurt? Does it matter? Is it just bring them on, next team up?
I think that's how the mindset we have to take it is next team up. There's not a lot out there yet on Green Canyon. We don't know what they possess, who they are, and what they'll be. So they're kind of, we haven't been able to identify them quite yet. So that's it's a little bit harder for our defense, just not knowing what to prepare for. Offensively, we're just going to do what we can. And our offense is going to go in and put up as many points as we can. Our defense is going to be stout and play well as against those guys. I'm going to add too. I'm glad that Canyon View's back in the region. Having them back in, I think, makes us stronger as a region as well.
How comforting, Coach, is it knowing you've got 17 touchdowns on the ground coming back in Jacob Mpungi, and you've got 25-plus touchdowns coming back from your quarterback and Ryan Javines?
Yeah, two awesome players for the Pineview Panthers. Ryan's done a good job. He's prepared well. Coach Hosler's worked with him year in and year out in the offseason, so he's put in his time, and it shows on Friday nights when he's throwing those touchdowns. Jacob's just a dynamic player. He's quick. He's elusive. He can make people miss, and he can take the ball the distance. He's got a fifth gear that he can hit, and definitely that is good for us.
Can you introduce your players to us, Coach, a little bit and tell us about them?
Sure. This is Austin Peterson, or AP. He plays linebacker for us, a returning starter that's we're expecting big things from him. Christian Reese, again, a returning starter, middle linebacker. Michael Moten, another returning wide receiver that played awesome for us last year, and we're expecting big things from him. And down at the end is Ryan Javines, our starting quarterback. And again, we're looking for a big season for him as well.
Let's start with Ryan and talk a little bit about what he expects out of himself this year. Have you written down any individual goals, any team goals? What do you expect?
I just don't want to end the season like we did last year. That was really close. It was an awesome experience to get out to Rice Eccles and come up that short. So just leave.
I'm just curious, is that been maybe, are you going to pass more, or are they going to still let you have freedom to go ahead and read the defense and run when you need to?
Of course, we have new plays we're adding in this year, but mostly it's just like we did last year. I get a run, I get a throw, Jacob gets to run. Same.
Who's behind you, Ryan? Is there depth behind you in case you get dinged up a little?
Yeah, we have an upcoming junior named Dallin Brown. He's probably one of the best athletes on the team. He can make plays wherever you put him.
Michael, you got to race some pungi in practice just for fun ever? You guys put a Coke on a 40-yard dash or anything?
No, not yet. Hopefully sometime, though.
Who would win? That's what he's asking.
Me. I'm just kidding.
You guys are both really fast. That's why I was wondering. Is it close enough that day to day it could change?
Yeah, probably around. Yeah, I think so.
Best things about this group. I've been with these guys since they were freshmen. They are one of the most competitive as far as amongst each other groups that I've seen since I've been at Pineview. These guys like to compete against each other. They're not afraid to get after each other a little bit, and that's it makes it a lot of fun at practice to see these guys compete, whether in between plays or having a race between those two guys. It's always competitive. It's been really fun.
Well, speaking of competitive, Austin and Christian, which one of you are going to have more tackles this year?
We'll see. Probably Austin over here, but you never know.
Christian, it seemed like every time there was a big play on defense, you were somehow involved in it last year. Can you talk about your role on the team this year? Are you expected to be not just a tackler but a leader? What do they expect out of you, do you think?
Yeah, they want me to be a leader this year. We had a young group of defensive players last year. We lost about 4 starters. So everyone had to step up last year, but it's not just me. We got 2 other guys that we got to step up, 2 other senior linebackers, me, Austin, and Brendan Bithell. So it's not just one person that's leading, it's everyone else.
And Christian's being very humble. He led the 3AA last year in tackles, if I'm not mistaken, with over 100. And Austin, now you've got a benchmark for yourself because he just said it's probably going to be you. Talk about how you guys feed off each other, Austin.
I don't know, like come practice, Christian's always heated. We're always getting after it with the O. Like, we get in scraps, and I don't know, the energy off Christian, and just as far as like going to Brendan, like Brendan's a wild man. He flies around, and then me, like we just all get it done. We like to scrap, and then Jacob and Mike coming back at us and all that stuff. Like, it just makes us all better at once. So I think we'll be pretty good this year.
Coach, I'm wondering, you obviously have one of the best linebacking cores probably in the region, if not the state. And then last year, and what the status is of the defensive secondary, missing Screech. And I don't know if D'Angelo's, did he graduate?
Yeah, he
Two of the
graduated.
best DBs in the state.
Yeah, those are two of my guys, my two corners. I graduated, both Screech and D, who were phenomenal. They did a great job for us throughout the year, made some big plays for us. So we are filling in, two new spots at the corner spots. Samson Doyle's been doing a good job this summer. Colby McCarroll's done a good job. Vova Jocelyn, they're kind of battling out. CJ's done a great job this summer. So a lot of those guys are battling for those two corner spots. So I'm excited as we've gone through camp to see those guys kind of progress. In the back end of the safeties, we've got Paul. Paul is back. We've got Jacoby Clausen, who's back, and Jay Sean Allen, who is going to be playing more for us this year as well. So a pretty good group in the back end. We're hoping that, our strength is definitely going to be against the run with these linebackers. They're awesome. These guys are tough. They know how to play. They know our scheme, and we'll just do what we can in the back end to try to knock some balls down and get some picks.
When you have some amazing cover corners like you did last year, it allows the defense to take some other risks that you wouldn't normally be able to take. Is that going to maybe stifle you guys a little bit this year as these new corners learn their job?
Maybe a little. We still want to be able to do what we do as a Panther defense. We want to attack people, and sometimes we're just going to have to maybe take that calculated risk with our corners on the outside, maybe having to play a little bit of man. So we'll do what we have to, and we'll game plan the best that we can to put everybody in the right spot against the teams that we play.
Michael, I want to talk about some new receivers stepping up. How does some of your teammates that play the same position as you, how's their camp going? Whose names we should watch for? Ryan, you can even comment on this because you're throwing it out to those guys.
Yeah, we have Dallin Brown, the backup quarterback for Ryan. He's very athletic, so we just stick him anywhere, and he's way athletic. He can make plays anywhere on the field. And, yeah, that's...
Like Michael said, we have Dallin starting at the other wing right now. He will make plays there. Hunter Moore, one of the other upcoming juniors, starting at outside. He's an athletic kid. You can throw it up to him, and he'll come down with it. And then we're just still trying to find out that other receiver.
I want to ask you about Brooks because I heard that Brooks might play tight end this year. Brooks Melee.
Yeah, he's in some of the packages at tight end that we've put in. He's been getting a lot of reps at tight end there. I'm hoping we can get a lot of him on the offensive side.
Michael, I was impressed last year with the almost instant chemistry you and Ryan seemed to have together, especially on third down. I don't know how many conversions you guys made together on that route, whatever it was. It seemed to work every time. Maybe you can talk a little bit about your chemistry last year and how it's kind of even improved going into this year.
Yeah, we've just, me and Ryan just been playing together since Little League, just growing up all together. He's my quarterback since I was little. And, yeah, that's where we get the chemistry, I think. Yeah.
I don't want to put anybody on the spot, but if you look down at those predictions for this year, the finish last year, are you going to be satisfied with anything short of playing in the state championship again?
Not at all. That's the biggest goal this year. I mean, that's for every team, state championship. But how it ended last year, we don't want to end like that again. So we're gonna do everything we can to make it back there.
So the bitter thoughts are nothing more than a movement. Say, we won't be there again, right? Good man. All right.
Coach, who are some names that we haven't talked about that you think can get on the field and really contribute? Maybe some guys that, as the season progresses, can get more and more reps as they improve.
Yeah, defensively, I mentioned a few of them at the back end of the corners. We've got another middle backer position that we're looking at because we run that 3-4 base scheme, and we've got 3 of those linebackers back. So we've got Saxon Levitt, who's competing at another middle backer spot. Koa Katoa is another guy that's been getting reps this summer and is performing well. Solo Katoa playing defensive line for us. He played last year, and I think he's going to in for another big year. And then Brooks Miley, everybody's been talking about him. He's done a tremendous job this summer. We're excited to see what he can do on the defensive line. The guys on offense, they mentioned Dallin Brown getting a lot of reps this summer. They're moving him all over the place because he's a dynamic player that can do a lot of different things. We're excited to see what he can do as well. And we're going to fill in some holes on the offensive line as well. There's guys that are battling out for those few offensive line spots that we'll see what happens there.
It's tough when you lose a guy like Tyler Heaton and what he was able to do for you. I mean, even you linebackers know, if Tyler's taking up 2 and 3 guys on the other team's offense, it leaves you free to do some things. Is there someone that's going to maybe help to fill that void?
That's one that we've been working on. It's tough to, fill a void like Tyler Heaton. He's done so well for us for the last few years at that nose spot. We've moved guys around. We've tried to see who could play best there, and that might end up being what we do throughout the season, is just trying to move guys to get better matchups that we can, and who's going to, allow to keep these linebackers free and able to make tackles. So I think we'll move that around quite a bit. Solo Katoa has been playing a lot there this summer. John Perry, another guy that's come in and played some nose. So we're excited to see what they'll do, but we'll kind of scheme those things out by game plan.
Coach, you got 8 starters back on offense, 8 roughly on defense. Is that the most you can remember in your 7 years at Pineview?
In my 7 years, and it's an awesome thing, because when you get into the summer and you're ready to get things going, these couple weeks right before game days, it's awesome because the guys know what they're doing. There's not a lot of teaching that's going on. It's more or less just kind of fine-tuning things, making sure guys are where they're supposed to be. But it's awesome to have that many players back, and that's going to be big for us throughout this year.
Got about 1 minute left here, and then we're going to take a timeout. Any final questions for Coach Meyer or any of the Pineview Panthers guys?
No, I think we keep referring to that last play of the last game of the year and what that means to you guys. And it's funny because as we've talked to the different teams today, they've all talked about the razor-thin difference between the teams that were like you guys, all the way to the state championship, and then teams that barely made the playoffs and things like that. What do you think is the difference in getting those last-second victories that will make the difference for you guys? What do you think, Christian?
I think it's just pursuing of the ball every play. I think that last play of the game didn't really do much.
Where were you on that last play?
Right in the middle. I was with Bundy and Panay coming down. I remember it a little too much, but you can't really do much about it. It's over. It's, almost 8-9 months ago. It's new season.
Yep.
So you can't really do much about it.
Well put. Christian Reese, Michael Moten, Ryan Javinez, Austin Peterson. We didn't get a lot out of Austin. He's pretty quiet. I'm sure we'll see a lot out of him on the field, though. Good to have you guys. Coach, thanks for being here. Pineview Panthers, time is up. But we're not done. We got one final team. When we come back, it'll be the Desert Hills Thunder after a 2-minute timeout. More of the football media day. And then after the Thunder, we'll kind of have some of our preseason media and coaches polls and some final thoughts from the guys. So stick around.
I'm a single mother, and I was the main one working, so I never thought that I could go back to school, My sister, my mother, everybody wanted to help me with my kids. I could not have gotten my diploma without my family.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but she's putting him in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Bye, Janet. It's nice seeing you again. You a good girl. Just let me know what I can do to help.
Well, to help me, she'd have to help every day. Every hour, every ouch, every time my wife calls for help. I mean, maybe she could help me make her lunch. But the crust, all the crust has to be cut off the corners. She could help me run to the doctor for the 5th time this week. Help me with the specialist and the second opinions and the painful paperwork about paperwork. Help me deal with how hard it is seeing my wife's name on so much paperwork. But this is on me. I'm the only one who can do this, like this, for her. Besides,
take care.
We will. Janet doesn't like her cooking anyway.
Find support for your strength. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community.
Your daughter is having trouble learning French. Do you A, hire a tutor?
Bonjour.
B, enforce a French-only rule at home? Or C, watch some foreign films? When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Hey, Gabby, how you doing? How's the play?
And welcome back to our 2017 High School Football Media Day for Region 9 here in St. George. We're at the CEC TV studios, streaming on ESPN Radio as well as sportsradio977.com, stgeorgenews.com. Andy Thompson, Mike Mcgarry, Andy Griffin, I'm Devin Dixon. And last but not least, the defending state champs have joined us for their allotted time here, and the Desert Hills Thunder head coach Carl Frankie. Coach, thanks for being here.
Thank you, guys.
And we've got representing the Thunder, we've got Koa Afawalo, Cole Bailey, Leonidas Jacobson, Brock Perry, and Panay Sewell, who actually signed his autograph for a nameplate here today. Join us. What's up, Panay? Coach, we'll start with you.
Save that and put it on eBay, though, okay?
Save that one.
Yeah, save it.
Coach, if we can, just take us through since last season, the off season, give us kind of your thoughts on winning that title and now rolling into a brand new season to try to do it all over again.
Yeah, new crop of kids. Yeah, you see your seniors off. You congratulate each other until the new year, and then it's on to try to win another one. So we've just been working tirelessly to get back into putting ourselves in the best position to make another run.
Any certain camps from years past?
Probably took a little bit more time off, but we grind really hard. Strength and conditioning coach with Coach Jace MacArthur. That's his expertise, and these guys will probably attest to the time spent in the weight room and on the field, getting ready for this season. We went to Southern Utah University for camp. They always put on one of the best camps that I've ever been to. Take care of us, every need and want that we have, and it's been great because we've sent a lot of kids to SUU to play at the next level, and so you create those relationships, and now we're just back at it at our own place.
Talk about Quinn Kaiser graduating. That leaves a hole at the quarterback position. Take us through kind of the summer and the fall camp, and I mean that's a very important position, but you do have a big offensive line with a lot of experience to protect who is your new quarterback. Tell us about him.
Yeah, Quinn did a fantastic job for us all year. Last year and led us in some tight games, and obviously made some big plays when they needed to be made. And this year, obviously, we've turned a page, and now we got to find another guy to fill that role. And we got two guys battling out right now with Logan Wilstead and Noah Sewell. And our strength will be up front, and we're a run first, smash mouth team. And then the finesse kind of comes after. So we know who our identity is, and that's what we stick to.
I was really impressed with your running game. Obviously Nephi last year, but also Perry coming in, kind of a thunder and lightning thing. I don't know what you would call it, Coach, but it
lightning
seems like,
and lightning.
Yeah, lightning and lightning maybe. But now Nephi's gone, obviously, but and the onus falls on your other running back. Is he ready for that, to carry that kind of a load, or do you have that help?
I do. He's always been ready. You know, I think even last year, Nephi fit a role for us, Brock fit a role for us. But it was always, you know, there was no doubt that anytime we were handing the ball off to Brock, he can do the same thing. So obviously they're a little bit different runners. You know, Nephi was a little bit stronger with the waist down, where Brock is a little bit more shifty. And Brock's at top speed after about 2 steps. So it's a little bit different, but kind of the same. And we're really comfortable. And I know he's excited to run behind such a big offensive line. And you know, I think right now it's you know, just keeping him healthy and watching his reps, and we got a couple of younger guys in there to spell him. So,
Coach, have you weighed your starting 5 offensive linemen? If so, what's the average across the front?
I don't weigh. I don't weigh.
Just curious.
No,
big is the word.
You know, we're bigger than we used to be. We're probably pretty close to what we were last year. Across the front, you know, we got a couple guys back that are, you know, gotten bigger in the weight room and stronger and matured a little bit, but we're about the same as we were last year. I just think we're just a little bit stronger and a little bit more athletic than we've been. So we'll see what happens there. Again, it's a health thing. You just got to keep healthy, and as long as we do that, I think keeping guys on one side of the football helps with that.
Coach, I think almost every team here has mentioned the weight room, strength. Obviously, that's a key component into the game. What do you talk about? What do you tell the kids? What do you do to get them excited? And are they already excited to hit the weight room?
Well, it's, you know, football is one of those sports where you spend more time training than you do playing. And it's because the game asks so much mentally and physically from you. And so these guys know going into it the mindset that it takes, and these other teams understand that. You know, in order to be able to battle and win close games when it's time to really win some close games, in order to do that, you have to do that in the preseason, and I think we've done that, and we've done that the last couple of years. So we've won some close games in the fourth quarter, and you know, just obviously what we do schematically to personnel and also our preseason stuff, I think that helps us.
We go back to your championship a few years ago against Pineview. You score on the last play of the game. You do it again last year. And I remember talking to you after the first one, and you're like, that was by design. I did not want to leave them any time on the clock. This year it seemed a little different because you had to get up the field and get that score in time. So it was a little more rushed. But, man, how do you do that, Coach? That's an amazing achievement. You've done that twice.
Well, I don't want to do that. I want to, you know, you want to be up 21 with about 2 minutes to go, and people are throwing Gatorade on each other, and that's what you want. But, you know, again, give Pineview all the credit in the world and our region all the credit in the world. It's going to come down to that all the time if you're going to play each other, especially the second time around. And both teams, you know, had some mistakes in certain quarters that kind of cost them momentum. And it came down to just that last play against 2 great teams that year, and you know, in both years. And it, you know, I've just been lucky to be on the other end of that. I've been on the other side of it plenty of times in my entire life, but you know, I've been lucky to be on that other side of it. But you know, take nothing away. I know one team walks off with the last win of the season, but you know, last year especially, I thought Pineview fought and showed so much character, and you know, a lot of those kids are back again this year.
Coach, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to ask, you have experience coming off a defending champ or being a defending champion, and things change and new players come in. But specifically talking about Nephi, and that season last year was kind of like a storybook, just thing that he's able to carry the team, especially the last game of the season, on his back, that last series, and how it ended in almost like a Disney way. Maybe you could talk a little bit about readjusting your identity, not replacing Nephi, but just the identity change with this team.
Well, I think the story of what happened to Nephi and what he had to overcome to achieve the things that he did achieve, and the non-quit attitude and the willingness to get back off the turf each time and line up again no matter how dog tired he was. Yeah. I mean, that's the identity of the team. That's what we rally behind, and that's what he's left that legacy. So guys know what it's going to take to win a championship. That, you know, they've seen it firsthand, and now they got to go out there and be that guy and be able to do those things.
Coach Frankie, Desert Hills Thunder with us. We'll meet the players in just a second, but Coach, why don't we do something a little different? Why don't you introduce your players that you've brought and selected to bring today, and tell me a little bit about why they're here today.
Sure. First, though, I want to say, is this the most interesting man in the world today? Because with the beard and everything, I'm telling you.
Looking good.
I know, he's looking good today.
Let's go. Appreciate it.
Koaf Walla would be anchoring our defense in the linebacking core. He's a senior captain this year, and Ko has been, you know, he's one of our top tacklers last year, and so we're looking for great things. And Cole Bailey be playing D end across from Carter Reynolds on the other side, and they're long and athletic and really good football players, and they're high motor kids. So they had great seasons last year, and we're looking forward to another good season this year. And then Leonidas Jacobson, best name in the game. Leo is going to anchor our left side of the offensive line, and you know, Leo's always kind of shadowed by Panay, but a little bit. But Leo is he's really dedicated himself in the weight room and with his technique, and has worked really hard with Panay in the off season to get better. And I think he's going to be really tough this year. And Brock Perry, obviously, we spoke about him. You know, he's got that, you know, take it to the house mentality every time he touches the ball. He's tough to see behind a big line. He jumps through holes that there's no way I'd even think that anyone can jump through those little creases. And when his feet are on the turf, it's electric. So we're really happy to have Brock back. And then Panay, everyone knows Panay Sewell and the work and the athleticism and what he brings to the team, and not only his athletic prowess, but also, you know, he's a great leader for our team, and he's a guy that I really lean on, play in and play out, and series in and series out, to kind of talk to and get a lot of feedback from what the other team's trying to do to us. So Panay's a huge help, not only on the field as a player, but also as a leader. You know, so these guys are, you know, they're proven to be leaders. The kids on the team love them. They respect them. These guys work hard. They do all the right things, and that's what it's made up of.
Let's open up to the players here representing Desert Hills for a little Q&A.
Yeah, I want to start with Brock. I asked your coach if you were ready for that load. Are you ready for that load? I'll ask you personally.
I am ready for the load. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to run as hard as I can. I'm ready to go behind Panay and Leo here. I trust them wholeheartily, and
is there a number, touches-wise, that you've set a goal, or is the coach said, you know, we're going to get you 20 touches a game, or something like that? Do you have a number?
I don't have a number. I'm just ready to go with whenever they give me the ball, whenever they trust me.
That's a good answer.
I want to go to Leonidas. Now, I heard him refer to you secondly as Leo. Do you go by Leo?
I'll always introduce myself as Leonidas, but if it's too long for you, you can always go Leo, but I'll always go as Leonidas.
Well, thanks, because by the time I got your name out, the play'd be over. So, but I always like to kind of look at the offensive line. I mean, because they don't get a lot of the love, so to speak, but at the end of almost every game, coaches or somebody will point and say, that's where the game was won. Tell me about playing O-line.
You don't get much recognition, but I don't think many of us, and I know me and Panay especially, aren't there for that recognition. We're there, it's a team sport, and we're part of that team. So we're there to do our job and take our team as far as possible.
Thanks, Leonidas. No.
Of course.
Let's bring in Panay for just a second. Panay, you and I had a chance to talk over the summer a little bit about being at the opening. You were up in Oregon. You were there with, you know, only 3 Utah high school athletes that were selected to be at this camp. What did you learn specifically that you can apply to your senior season here at Desert Hills?
Kind of technique for me and Leo, you know, kind of bringing some of that back and working out with him. And just more confidence in my game, so which leads to leadership, you know, kind of leading this team and trying to win another one.
How many total camps did you attend this summer?
Maybe, I'd say 8. Yeah, around there. Yeah.
Fair to say as many as anybody in Southern Utah, right, Coach?
Well, there were, 3 or 4 that he had to be invited to. The others were camps. Primetime Polynesian was one of those camps out west. The Nike opening stuff, the regional stuff. And then some of the schools that he had done unofficial trips with had their own camps, like Alabama had their own top recruit type camp, and so he had attended some of that as well. So yeah, that's a lot of camps.
Panay, have you decided to put that all aside and just focus on this senior season and then make that decision when it's all said and done at the end of the year?
Yes, sir.
Of course, for those that know, Panay has many big-time Division I scholarships, 5-star recruit. Fun to have him here. Let's meet some of these other players here. Cole, let's go to you. Talk about your excitement level for the season, maybe some goals, and your role on this team as you see it.
I'm real excited for the season. I mean, I probably not a name that's very recognized. I didn't play a whole lot last year, which motivates me for this year, and I'm just ready to go and play with these guys up here, and I just want to take it as far as we can.
Do you have any numbers written down or anything you're trying to specifically accomplish?
I mean, we have like gold shirts that we hand out at the end of the year for a certain amount of sacks or tackles, and gold shirt is obviously an objective of mine, and it's nice to have Carter on the other side, and we motivate each other and are always competing with each other, and so.
Now, your brother played at Desert Hills, right?
Yeah, my older brother.
And he was at College Desert, and did I hear he just got a scholarship somewhere else?
He did, yeah. 2 years? He just signed with Louisiana Lafayette. He did.
I know he's been working hard. Have you guys trained together a little bit in the offseason?
Yeah, we have. When he gets to come home and stuff, we really get in the weight room and we start working, and we do it we can while he's here.
He's going to be a raging Cajun, is that what you said?
Yeah, he is.
Very nice, very nice. Cole, I want to ask you a question. Panay gets all this attention, deservedly so, but you got guys coming in from Alabama and Arizona, all these schools coming in. Do you other players, is this a good thing for you? Is this a distraction? What's it like for you?
No, yeah, we've had a few coaches at some of our practices, but I think if anything, it just makes us work harder, makes us, we're always being watched. You don't get away with anything, no shortcuts, so you got to put in the work in front of everyone, so you can't hide anymore.
No rock to hide under out there on the turf, is there?
No, it's a positive thing,
Yeah.
It opens up not just Desert Hills, but St. George. St. George isn't like a hotbed for Alabamas and USC and those big-time schools, and so the opportunity to bring some of those schools in and to promote some of the players and the athletes from the region is only going to be positive. So, obviously it takes talents like Panay to be able to bring those types of coaches in, but at the same time took advantage of it by giving lists of names from even players from Dixie and Pineview and Snow Canyon and other schools, and giving them a list of these players for these big-time coaches to take a look at. So it's not just Desert Hills. This is trying to put Region 9 continuously on the map and opening up this region, for others to see.
Okay. Do you guys have a rival? Is there a Desert Hills rival? I mean, is it Pineview? Is it Dixie? Is there one team? Brock, what do you think?
We're all pretty competitive in the Region 9. Dixie and Pineview are definitely our most competitive teams. Dixie has kind of been an off subject for us. So we want to get at them this year, but Pineview will always be difficult. Dixie will always be difficult. Snow Canyon, all the Region 9 teams, even Canyon View this year.
Good region, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Panay, last year you started playing both ways, and then coach started platooning guys, and it seemed to really work well. In fact, you won the last 5 or 6 games of the season in the state championship. Has that been a conversation piece with you and coach, or are you happy to just play offensive line on that right side this year?
Yeah, I think I'm probably just going to stay at offensive line this year and just help out, on the offense.
Do you miss playing defense at all?
Sometimes I think about it, but,
If you give him an inch, he'll want to play tight end, quarterback, corner.
Fullback.
No, we'll spot play a lot of our high talented players where we can spot play them on, second, third and long, third and fourth and short, and, things like that. So a lot of it would be situational, but obviously we're not, we want to give ourselves the best chance to win. So,
Noah's coming in and he's got a chance to win this quarterback job, and then you got Wilstead. He's gonna be a sophomore, right, this year.
They're both sophomores.
How close is that battle? Is there a leader right now as far as winning that job?
Well, I think both have really done well. Noah's a kid, obviously, at 6'2", 240 as a sophomore. He's got the strength and those types of abilities to be able to throw the ball long distance and throw it across the field from one hash to the far sideline, whereas Logan's a little bit he hasn't fully developed yet into what he will become, but he makes up for it with making quick decisions with his head and dissecting defensive secondaries and things like that, and understand what they're trying to do to him, gets ball out early. Both understand the type of offense we run. We run the ball effective enough, we won't have to lean on those guys so much to make huge plays for us. So our offense will be run through the offensive line, and as long as we can run the ball on first down and second down and put ourselves in good manageable positions on third down, we'll be okay.
Had Noah ever played quarterback until this offseason?
No, never. So he's a great athlete. He's been offered by 5 big time schools to play middle linebacker. So we're just going forward with developing both kids, trying to get them as much time in the preseason and getting them both ready to go.
Does that mean you will play them both at quarterback in the preseason?
I think so, yeah. Coach Stokes mentioned it before. You really got to have another guy. I mean, you need a guy to be able to run an offense. You never know what's going to happen. And as physical as Noah does play, when he does play out there, you need a guy in case he gets nicked up or something happens. So we need to have a guy ready, and Logan will be ready when we need him.
Any final questions for any of the Desert Hills players or Coach Frankie? Thanks. We've reached the end of our Media Day session with Desert Hills. Coach, best of luck this season, and appreciate Koa, Cole, Leonidas, Brock, and Panay Sewell for joining us here representing the Thunder. They open up the season coming up August 18th at home against Jordan High School, and we'll have that game right here on CEC TV as well as ESPN Radio. And then first road game will be August 25th, Salem Hills. First region game, September 8th against the Huracan Tigers. Coach, best of luck to you and the Thunder this year.
Thank you, and I have to say I love my wife. I know she's watching, so she said to give her a shout out, and my brother back in Texas, so thanks.
With that, we'll take a quick 2-minute timeout. We're not done. The guys and I will come back and we'll kind of recap today, and we'll have some of the media poll and coaches poll as far as predicted order of finish this year in an always tough Region 9. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
I'm a single mother, and I was the main one working, so I never thought that I could go back to school, you know. My sister, my mother, everybody wanted to help me with my kids. I could not have gotten my diploma without my family.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Bye, Janet. It's nice seeing you again. You look good, girl. Just let me know what I can do to help.
Well, to help me, she'd have to help every day. Every hour, every ouch, every time my wife calls for help. I mean, maybe she could help me make her lunch. But the crust, all the crust has to be cut off the corners. She could help me run to the doctor for the 5th time this week. Help me with the specialist and the second opinions and the painful paperwork about paperwork. Help me deal with how hard it is seeing my wife's name on so much paperwork. But this is on me. I'm the only one who can do this, like this, for her. Besides,
take care.
We will. Janet doesn't like her cooking anyway.
Find support for your strength. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community.
And welcome back. What a fun day we've had. Thanks to everybody behind the scenes at CEC TV, back in the ESPN radio studios. And appreciate our panel and all the coaches and all the ADs and all the players that represent their schools today. We started with Canyon View, Cedar, had Huracan here. Then we went to Snow Canyon Warriors, Flyers, Panthers, and just finished up with the Desert Hills Thunder. Again, if you missed any of this, you're just tuning in, you can go to sportsradio977.com and you can click to the YouTube page to watch this and catch your favorite team, or watch the whole thing if you want to hang out with us for 3 hours. But Mike, I want to just kind of get your thoughts. Andy's doing a final tally on some of our media and coaches poll and preseason MVP, but what stood out to you today from some of our coaches and teams?
Well, first of all, every year I think I'm impressed, very impressed with the players. Sharp kids, they know what they're doing. Some of them are a little soft-spoken, but a lot of them speak right up, talk out. I love to see it. I mean, I think that says a lot about more than just the football program, the schools, the community. Now, back to what really stood out. I mentioned earlier that I think the fact that the kids are working harder in the room, they're working on the weights. But I think what really hit me this time is that every one of them to a T honors the other kids, honors the other programs. Okay, there's a little smack talk going on, and there should be. But most of it is, I respect them, they respect us. We're going to go out, we're going to play hard. End of the year, we want to be there, but we know it's going to take everything we have to get by the other guys. You asked several times, who is your main team you fight against? The answer is Region 9.
Yep.
It should be.
A ton of mutual respect from the coaches, and that was very evident today. Andy, what were your thoughts?
Well, it was a cool scene when Desert Hills was coming in as Pineview was going out. The two teams that met each other in the state championship last year. It was a tough game, tough loss for Pineview, and every single one of those kids gave the other one a hug going out. It was kind of a cool scene to see. But I totally agree with Mike, the respect and the humility that comes from playing in Region 9 for several years and getting surprised by some of the lower teams or whatever year in and year out. There's not a year that goes by where, as you say, Devin, anything can happen any week. Expect the unexpected. That's what it is. I screwed up your famous line, but that's a lot of humility comes with that. You never know who's going to beat you this year.
Real quickly, want to give a shout out to our sponsors. We have a great group of local sponsors, and if you listen to any of our games or you watch any of our games this year, you'll see them. But specifically today, Finley Volkswagen, Johnson Pediatric Dentistry, and Holbrook Asphalt helping us out get the Media Day coverage on the airwaves today. I thought that Coach Muller was excited for Canyon View to be back in the region. They're gonna have some growing pains. I do really think that's going to be the case this year, but I loved his commitment, his excitement. And you heard a lot of the coaches say, we're glad Canyon View's back. Right. And Canyon View did play 3 Region 9 teams last year, so it wasn't like they weren't playing some of the teams, but they had to play that other full region schedule. So that'll be really interesting. I felt like Huracan, Jaron Cordova, there's a commitment to the run again this year. I felt like Snow Canyon has got a lot of experience coming back, and they've got some big guys in the trenches to match up with some of these other big teams. The size of these kids just amazes me.
I thought that too. These kids are looking bigger, But another thing too, real quickly, I really enjoyed about Cedar, and that is that Cedar made a commitment a year ago to make a big change in what they do up there. These kids have bought in, every one of them, behind the coach and said, we like this. We're moving ahead. This is what we really want to do. You're right. Every team has something they do, and they do well, and they may adjust a little bit, but they're ready to go.
And I think we pointed out a number of times last year there were so many barn burners, close games, and we as announcers and broadcasters and media, we want close games. We love and live for the close one. Let's go to Andy Griffin, who has got everything kind of tallied up. Some final thoughts. Let's go to some of the coaches and the media votes from today.
All right, the final projections for the top 7 order in Region 9. Actually, the top 3, as you might expect, close Region 9 games, close Region 9, are very close. Desert Hills picked to win Region 9 with 63 total points, 4 first-place votes. However, that's only 1 point more than Dixie, which had 2 first-place votes, and 2 points more than Pineview, which had 3 first-place votes. So really close, 63, 62, 61 overall points. Snow Canyon picked 4th with 41 points. They also got a couple of first-place votes. And then Huracan, Cedar, and Canyon View, 32, 29, and 18. So I'll have a full story talking about that when we get there.
Yeah, and then check that out on stgeorgenews.com. But I'm big on what you did last year. I understand that. Desert Hills found a way. In a tough region, a tough state tournament, they found a way, and they do have a lot of pieces coming back, albeit a new quarterback and start running back on. But all these teams lost star power, and I feel like Dixie has a lot coming back, and Pineview has a lot coming back. Those top three, and you mentioned it earlier, they're kind of interchangeable, and they're just going to have to let it play out. But I think there's going to be a dog fight for third, fourth, those final two playoff berths, because whether it's a Huracan, a Cedar, a Snow Canyon, or a Canyon View, a couple of those teams could get hot. Upset here and an upset there, protect the home game here. You get to 2 or 3 wins, you're very much alive for that third or fourth seed with a week or two left in the regular season. It's going to be a wild time here under the lights on Friday nights.
Let's talk about preseason MVP. A lot of good votes. I think a lot of great candidates, guys like Brooks Miley and Jaron Maurer, Lacayo, Reese, Snow, Heaton. But at the top of the list is a name I think we all probably thought would be there, a guy by the name of Hobbs Nyberg as your preseason Region 9 MVP. It was close. And in fact, for the first time in recent memory, an offensive lineman actually finished second in the MVP voting. We all know who that is in Panay Sewell. So.
Yeah, not often you see it. It's usually a skill position. A quarterback, a receiver, a running back. That's the offensive MVP in the preseason. But everybody's pretty well of the 5-star recruit that we just had in the room a couple minutes ago.
Let's the rest of the top 5. Jacob Mapungi of Pineview third, and then a tie for fourth between Jacob Barbin and Michael Moten. I think the question mark with Barbin is, how is he really 100%? If he is, he might be the MVP of this region when all is said and done.
Yeah, and that was a terrible injury. That's almost a 12-month injury, and they've kind of babied him along through the summer. They've limited his reps into some of the 7-on-7s in summer camps, and they're trying to get him ready for week 1. Don't be surprised, though, if they get up 2 or 3 touchdowns, if they pull him out in non-region. So he might not put up the statistics that he could if he didn't have that injury last year, but they want him healthy for the ultimate prize at the end of the year, and that's the state championship.
Other guys with multiple votes: Brock Perry, Tyson Fisher, Ryan Havinas of Pineview, Jaron Cordova of Huracan, Luke Maggio, and Noah Sewell. Nephi graduated, of course. Noah Sewell, also multiple votes. So I think just a great list of candidates. I think our coaches and media really did their job today. I like it.
Yeah, no doubt. It's been a lot of fun for us.
Always. We're ready. Bring it on.
We're out of time. Again, more on some of the voting, some of the other things. Check out Andy's story later tonight, stgeorgenews.com. Thanks to Mac back in the studio, Marcus, James, Dave, Lauren, all of our staff here at CEC TV for helping us out with the broadcast. And we'll have our game of the week with CEC TV, ESPN Radio. So watch for those starting August 19th. That first game I mentioned is Desert Hills and Jordan High, and we'll have it for you. For Andy Thompson, Mike Mcgarry, Andy Griffin, it's been a pleasure bringing you the 2017 Media Day here from the CEC studios on ESPN Radio. Have a great night, everybody, and a great season coming up.